Hey everybody, and welcome to the 2014 Clif Bar Psicobloc Masters. We're coming in live from the Olympic Training Center here in Park City, Utah. Tonight we're going to have a really special event with 16 women and 16 men vying for a total purse of $30,000.
And welcome everybody inside our poolside broadcast center here in Park City. I'm Brian Reynolds. That's Chris Widener over there. Sasha DeJulian joining us in the middle here.
Hello.
As Chris mentioned, we have 32 of the top climbers in the country and some from across the world set to compete tonight on this 55-foot tall Watopia wall in a unique Psicobloc format. That's going to be really exciting to watch. We have a really great field of competitors: Danny Woods, Chris Sharma, Alex Puccio, Delaney Miller. Lots of big names here tonight. But first, we're going to talk to our defending champions from 2013, starting with Sasha DeJulian. Sasha, thanks for stopping by. I know you're trying to get ready for this competition.
Hey, yeah, we're minutes off to take off, and I'm just getting psyched. So I hope you guys are all tuned in and ready for some excitement. Should be a great comp.
Yeah, so talk about this format, climbing a 55-foot wall over a big pool of water. What was that like last year, and what have you learned going into this year?
So last year, it wasn't quite as speed-oriented as this year. I think that for you all viewers out there, the speed element should be very exciting. It's essentially a race to the top of the wall. Slightly easier perhaps than last year, but very dynamic, big moves off sloping holds. So we're in for some early falls, we're in for some late falls. Should be a good show all around, and I'm excited to compete and just kind of let it all go.
So, Sasha, last year you won the comp hands down. There was no question that you were the winner. How do you feel about this year's comp?
Every competition you don't know what to expect until you're competing in the moment. And so really what I go into every competition with my goal being is to have fun and to do my best. So I guess that's the game plan.
And for the viewers at home, what does it feel like when you come off that wall and you hit that water?
Well, actually, the first seconds are quite gruesome because you see the top of the water and you're underwater and trying to surface. And you're like, am I there yet? Am I there yet? And then you pop out and you see the crowd, and it's really exhilarating.
Yeah, I bet. Sasha, one of the things you mentioned that I've noticed in your climbing is you always seem to have fun. And really, that's what PsychoComp is all about, is for the fun of it. There's no other competition before or after this PsychoComp. This is it. And this is the finals tonight. So, gosh, I'm really excited to see how you do tonight.
Yeah.
It's going to be really great.
Yeah, what did you learn yesterday on the wall about the route? Talk a little bit about the style this year.
So yesterday was seating, and I definitely learned that I need to be able to pounce on every move. I need to have that kind of vivacious energy to keep going and to go for moves that may be bigger than my arm spans may let me, but it's all in reach, and all the holds are there.
It's no big deal when you're 30 feet above the water, 40 feet above the water, right?
Don't look down.
Uh-huh.
Look out, wave to the crowd, and be like, hey, but don't look down.
Yeah, looking down is a total disaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good way to end your trip up the wall. Well, Sasha, we're gonna wrap this up with you. We appreciate you stopping by. Best of luck tonight, and good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much, Sasha. Good luck tonight.
Thanks. I'll do my best for you all out there.
All right, thanks, Sasha.
Great, thanks.
Best of luck. All right, we're going to bring in the male champion from 2013, Jimmy Webb, fresh off a plane from South Africa after endless travel days. Jimmy, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
So, Jimmy, talk a little bit about your last few months. What have you been up to since last year's PsychoComp?
Been traveling a ton, actually. Spent a lot of time in Switzerland and in Europe in the spring, and then we moved to South Africa in the summer, and then even got the opportunity to go try and develop some new boulders in Swaziland, like just before we came here.
Awesome.
So, a lot of travel. Yeah.
Swaziland. I've never heard of climbing in Swaziland. Was this the first?
I don't know if it's exactly the first. I'm sure there's 2 or 3 guys that maybe climb in Swaziland that would beg to differ that we were the first people to climb there. But it's definitely unknown, and it's a vast amount of granite. It's a really nice place. It's a beautiful country, and it's probably some of the nicest people I've ever met. So
right now we're looking at some footage of you qualifying yesterday. Talk a little bit about this route that we're going to see you climbing on later. It's the same route from last night that you guys got to practice on?
Yeah, exact same route, pretty much. Yeah, I don't think they've changed a thing.
What's the climbing like for people at home? Is it harder than you thought it would be? Easier than people would expect it to be? What's the climbing like?
It's definitely easier than it was last year.
Okay.
This year they've kind of made it a bit easier, but it's a bit more sustained, kind of.
Okay.
You know, like there's the jump in the middle and there's good holds, but it kind of builds, and then it kind of all comes down to the top. When you start to get the most pump, the hardest moves come into play. So, as shown there, like I'm just peeling off the top, like absolutely loaded pump. And for me, the sport climbing thing has not been part of my, my everyday activities the past few months. So I'm not feeling, that good on it. But I'm having a blast, man. It's so fun, and taking a big fall from the top like that when you're full on going for it, it's a cool feeling.
For sure.
Well, yeah, that sure is awesome. You said you're not feeling in sport climbing shape too much, but wow, you sure fooled us last night because you did great on that. What do you think we can expect to see tonight from you and from the other male competitors?
Oh, I don't know, man. It's like if you look at the list, there's so many strong climbers here. It's just as stacked as last year. Maybe even feels more stacked. These guys are really good. They're really consistent. They're really fast. Sean, for example, is like a really
Sean McCall.
Yeah, Sean McCall, impressive rock climber, all-around rock climber. Has no fear. He's just psyched to go for it, and he's really quick. I think he could be like a really top contender to take this contest down. And for me personally, I don't know. Hopefully, I won't get as pumped as yesterday or something. I don't know, and I can get up to the top.
It's going to be up to you, Jimmy.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And thanks so much for joining us, Jimmy. Really appreciate it.
No worries, man.
And
Thanks
good
for
luck
having me.
tonight.
Best of luck to you tonight, Jimmy.
Cheers, guys.
All right, thanks to Jimmy Webb for stopping by, our 2013 Psicobloc champion. All right, it's 7 o'clock here now in Park City. Welcome everybody tuning in live to the 2014 Clif Bar Psicobloc Masters. We're going to take a quick look at our women's bracket. That's going to get underway in just a second here. Chris, who do we have?
Well, starting out, a big surprise really from last night. Our qualifying round, we had some of the surprise wild card finishers like Claire Burfine, for example, whom frankly I had only seen compete once in the ABS Nationals recently. 16 years old, and she was our number one competitor. So we're going to start out with Claire Burfine in number one, and JC Hunter, veteran from last year who performed really well. She's going to be competing against Claire in our very first round.
After that, we got Michaela Kirsch qualifying in 8th position. Going to go up against Margarita Marcinova, our 9th qualifier. 5th is going to be Ashima Shireshi, 13 years old, one of our younger competitors. Really great to see her competing. Something for people to look forward to tonight. She's going to be facing off in the first round against Megan Martin. It's our 13th, she's going to be facing off against Alex Johnson, our 12th place qualifier from yesterday.
After that, we're going to have Alex Puccio, possibly the strongest female boulderer in the world. She placed 4th last night, and she's going to be going up against our 3rd-ranked competitor from last year, Megan Martin.
After that, we got Delaney Miller, our 2-time reigning SCS national champion, facing off against Angie Payne. Known more for her bouldering skills, but she's out here doing it over the big pool in Park City.
After that, looks like we're going to have Andrea Seke against Sasha DeJulian. Now, we just talked to Sasha. She was our first-place competitor last year. She won the event. She was off to a slightly rough start last night, and she sounded a little bit nervous, but psyched for it. Andrea, very solid competitor. A little slow for the speed climbing, honestly, but very, very strong. She has the strength to hold on forever. So after Andrea and Sasha, what do we have, Brian?
We got Kyra Condi qualifying in 7th place out of Minnesota. She's going to go up against Emily Harrington, our 10th place qualifier.
And finally, we're going to have our 2nd place, Grace McKeon. She's a real young, strong, psyched competitor. Grace McKeon, 16 years old, and she's going to be going against 15th seeded Sarah Griffith. Both Grace and Sarah were qualifiers from just a couple days ago. They were not invited to the comp. They had to compete to get into the comp, and those two are going to be going last.
Yeah, as you pointed out, Chris, we had 12 climbers that were invited by Chris Sharma, the organizer of this event, to compete, and we had 4 qualifying spots open Wednesday night at Momentum Mill Creek. And that's where we got Claire Burfine and Grace McKeon, our 2 top qualifiers for the finals out of that wild card qualifying round. So it's really exciting to see them, and I think the viewers at home are going to be in for a real treat. when they see them on this wall.
Yeah, Brian, it's really exciting for all of us, I think, to see these those who qualified just a couple days ago. And two of them, as Brian mentioned, Grace and Claire, were our top two competitors from last night. And that was a big deal because the seeding round put them in a very, very good position tonight to move on to the qualifiers, because basically the way this works is our top competitors are going against the ones who placed last in yesterday's seeding competition. So it's going to be really anybody's guess, but we're really excited for those women who just qualified a couple days ago.
Yeah, Chris, we're in for a great show tonight. Without further ado, let's get everything started. Let's go down to JT, our in-house MC, for our athlete introductions. JT, take it away.
Hey, what is up? Welcome to the 2014 Clif Bar Psicobloc Masters. What you are about to witness tonight is unique in the climbing world. Yes, we have climbing competitions, but nowhere else are you going to have a 50-foot wall that overhangs 20 feet into a 12-foot deep pool. You can do the math on that one. What we're going to have is 16 men and 16 women. These are some of the top boulderers and rope climbers and competition climbers in North America. Plus, we have international climbers. What we're going to do is we're going to have a climber on the left and a climber on the right. These are identical routes, exact same holds, exact same distance. It's a head-to-head bracket-style competition. So we're going to have two climbers. First person to the top wins. The fastest to the top wins. If they both top out, it's the fastest score. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to call up on stage the 16 female climbers we have tonight. Come on out. All right, let's go. Give it up for Here We Go. What you see here is a collection of both established rock climbing icons and relatively unknown up-and-coming crushers. We had the qualifying rounds yesterday, and trust me, there were some surprises. There are going to be some more surprises tonight. We will have dark horses taking out pro climbers. This is what we came here for. You guys all ready? You going to do the group hug thing again? All right, let's go compete. Let's do this thing. All right, one more thing. If you're here and you're quiet, you're lame. I need you all yelling, Grandma is not asleep upstairs, so let's make some noise for 16 of the best female rock climbers. Let's go!
All right, welcome back poolside. Brian Reynolds and Chris Widener here. Chris, let's talk a little bit of logistics here right now about this pool. There's a lot of questions people have when they see a pool like this. When they see a 55-foot wall. The pool is only 10 feet deep. The pipes at the bottom that they use for ski jumping do not help break the fall of these climbers. That actually makes it worse. So there will be no jets coming on, no bubbly action. And Chris, you were up on the wall earlier today. Talk a little bit about your experience when you're up there.
That's right, Brian. You were as well. Yeah, we both had a chance to try the competition wall today. And I got to say, the first part of the wall, I'm going to say 15 or 20 feet, is actually not too difficult. It appears they deliberately set that part of the wall to be a warm-up. Makes sense. They want people to at least get established on the wall before they start trying too hard. But I'll tell you, Brian, as soon as I started to have to try hard, that water sure looked a long way away. It was pretty scary just knowing that water was 20 feet down, and I only made a few hard moves before, honestly, I just stalled out and let go because it's scary. It's hard to commit.
Yeah, the water gets far away really quickly as we about to get underway with our final round here. Got Claire Burfine on the left, our number 1 qualifier, facing off against JC Hunter, our number 16 qualifier.
And here they go. We're going to keep our eyes on both these ladies, but Claire on the left is a trained speed climber. She's competed and performed well in speed climbing. She's 16 years old, one of the wild card qualifiers, And JC is a veteran from last year. Not surprisingly, Claire is moving on ahead and looking very comfortable up on the wall.
This kind of competition is to her advantage.
Both climbers will be climbing the same route, identical moves and holds the entire way up this 55-foot wall.
She knows the drill. She's a veteran rock climber. She knows how to rest. She knows how to
JC
climb
Hunter's
fast
a
as well.
mother of four,
This is when
one
things
of our older competitors, but
right
still
here.
climbing at a very high level.
And yeah, it's worth pointing out that JC is more of a sport climber, which means she's used to these long routes. She has climbed as hard as 514B, which only a few women in America have climbed. She's more likely to have kind of a slower, more methodical style because she's trained to hang on for a long time. Whereas someone as young as Claire and new to the game, she's trained for everything, including speed. And here she goes, several body lengths already ahead of JC.
Yeah, Chris, from what I'm told, yesterday was Claire's first time on this wall, and as we both found out, his first couple times up the wall are pretty unnerving, and she has shown no signs of slowing down at all. She topped out both times on her qualifying runs yesterday, and looks like she's well on her way to topping out this time again.
Yeah, it's super impressive. Looks like her foot just slipped, but getting it back under control. Yeah, it sure is interesting how just comfortable she is up on that wall. I guess that's what it takes to be a 16-year-old moving into becoming a national champion in something, whether it's bouldering, speed, or sport. Claire Burfield has it all.
There goes JC Hunter. Let's see if Claire keeps climbing. She does not need to. She's won this round. She'll be moving on to our next round in just a little bit.
It's interesting. There she goes to the top of the wall. It appears that Claire just wanted to top out for the fun of it. And again, I'm going to remind the audience that that's what this competition is all about. It's for the fun. This is an exhibition event, a celebration of what climbing is all about.
And that is the jumps. Let's cheer on Claire. Back to the big jump. There goes the chalk
And there
bag.
goes Claire just throwing her chalk bag off and getting ready for the dismount, and she's smiling. She's really having fun with this.
55 feet off the ground in front of this huge crowd in Park City. They're going to urge her on, try and get her to jump into this pool.
They might even do a countdown. Yep, there goes JT with the countdown and getting the crowd involved here. And that was a professional dismount. She did have a couple practices on that dismount yesterday because she topped out on the wall both times.
A great first round from Claire Burfine. Not surprising at all to see her top out the wall again. See her in the next round. And quickly move through these opening matchups here.
This isn't like a regular sport climb where you can take your time, be measured, think things through.
And waiting in the wings here, getting ready, is going to be Michaela Kirsch, our 8th seeded, and Rita Marcinova, our 9th place from yesterday. This is going to be a much closer contest since they were both right in the middle of the field last night. They're getting ready on the wall right now, Brian.
Climbers ready.
All right, throughout the night, tonight we're going to be joined by pro climber Nina Williams, who's going to do some athlete interviews for us. Nina, who's with Claire Burfine, take it away.
So Claire, that route didn't look very hard for you. Is there? What do you think of it overall?
So fun. It's really cool. We actually took off a hold by those two red and blue after the last volume, which made it a lot bigger, but it's really fun.
Nice. You're looking really solid on it. So we're looking forward to seeing the second run here. Awesome. Good luck. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Nina, for that interview. Looking forward to hearing from the athletes throughout the night as they get out of the pool. We got Michaela Kirsch and Rita Marcinova just about halfway up the wall. Chris, Rita was a lead national champion in youth last month in Atlanta, so she's one of the strongest young competitors out there.
That's right. It's really impressive to see these young girls go up there, relatively fearless, 16 years old, and she's looking a little nervous right now.
Michaela looks a lot more confident than she did yesterday. She just got back from IMSA Austria just a couple days ago, where she was competing on the adult lead climbing World Cup circuit.
Now, I'm going to say again, these initial moves really aren't that hard, but for the shorter climbers like Rita and Michaela both, These are some big moves, and you can see that right now as Michaela had to cut her feet to make that move. I'm a little surprised, Brian, that Rita's hesitating so long on this move. We know because we climbed this part of the route yesterday, it's actually not that difficult. I'm guessing that she's just a little bit nervous, which I was too.
Understandable. There's a huge crowd here watching her. It's a long reach for her.
And there she goes. She's just barely clinging on to that hold. She's really trying to pinch it. I'm wondering if there's a part of her that doesn't really want to go higher because it's so scary, but she's forcing through that fear right now. If she makes this next big move to the crescent moon, we're going to know she's going to at least get another move or two out of it.
There she goes. Nice work by Rita Marcinova.
Meanwhile, Michaela's just kind of making her way up in the beautiful sunshine right now here live at Park City, Utah. She looks comfortable up there, enjoying herself, shaking out.
Yeah, this is a section of the route that we saw a lot of the women resting in yesterday, right in the middle of the steepest part of the wall. Right at the scariest part of the wall, really, is where you're not quite sure if you slip off how your body's going to be oriented when you fall into that water. You're about 35 feet off the ground right now.
Now, Michaela in 2012 won the SCS Youth National Sport Climbing Championship, so she's no stranger to these longer routes. She's comfortable, obviously, shaking out, taking her time, and not pushing it.
We were talking to Michaela before this final round started, and she was nervous about this section. This is where the route starters made a slight adjustment to this move, and
that was beautiful.
Looks like no problem for her. She was nervous about that.
And both Rita did it as well. They're getting past the section of the route that Brian mentioned was altered, and wow, they're both putting in a great performance. Rita catching up, actually, to Michaela. They only have another 8 or 10 moves, and there goes Michaela into the pool. If Rita can manage to hang on just for another move or two, she will be the winner of this round. And there she goes.
That's going to be a close one, Chris. We're going to have to get update from the judges. That was an exciting matchup between Michaela Kirsch and Rita Marcinova.
Yeah, what a great match, and that sure seemed appropriate for their placing of 8th and 9th yesterday. They were just about neck and neck.
All right, good job.
Got Michaela out of the pool there.
All right, next up we have on the left, we have Ashima.
We can go down to Nina, who is with Michaela Kirsch right now. Nina, take it away.
So, Michaela, that was an awesome performance. I saw you climb up yesterday. I know you were a little bit more scared, but today you just killed it, and I heard that you are moving on. How do you feel about that?
Really psyched. You know, they took off a couple holds going into it, but you really have to commit to those moves, and that's what I was going for.
Awesome. I'm really glad. For your next go, I hope that you get farther and to the top because you looked great. Nice job. Yeah.
All right, thanks, Nina, for that. We see Michaela in the next round, it sounds like. We're on our next pairing. Chris, who do we have on the wall right now?
It looks like right now, Brian, we've got Ashima Shiraishi on the left and Alex Johnson on the right. Ashima is our youngest competitor at 13 years old, and she is also one of the most comfortable on this wall, judging from her performance yesterday. Tell us a little bit about Alex.
Yeah, Alex Johnson, 25 years old, from Hudson, Wisconsin. Been competing, I would have to say, probably longer than Ashima has been alive. Alex has been a World Cup champion for bouldering. She's won a couple of World Cup bouldering events. She loves to work this crowd here.
And now Alex was vocal with me yesterday about her nervousness on this wall. She was a little afraid of doing this. She's mostly a boulderer, which means she rarely climbs as high as she is right now, halfway up the wall. But she's looking good. And, of course, Ashima is just performing very fluidly as always. Alex asking for support from the crowd, and she's getting it.
Yeah, Chris, I was really surprised and impressed with Ashima's performance yesterday. She topped out the wall in both her qualifying runs and didn't really seem to hesitate at all, which is just so impressive. Somebody her size and her age not afraid of this 55-foot wall at all.
Yeah, and as we know from our I was going to say performance, but I wouldn't call what we did a performing on the wall today. It is certainly scary. And right now, Brian, I'm a little surprised that Alex is going for it, and she's well ahead of Ashima.
I think Alex knows from the qualifying round yesterday that if she wants to beat Ashima, she's going to have to get to the top first. She's not going to be able to outlast Ashima at all.
That's right, and right now what we're doing, this is the finals round, so whoever does not win this round is not going to continue.
That's right, every round is sudden death.
Yeah, so I'm really surprised that Ashima is hesitating this much right now. She's looking a little nervous.
Yeah, she definitely does not look as comfortable as she was yesterday, but she has a habit of pulling things out like that.
And there she goes, and now, yeah, she has one more gigantic move ahead of her, and she'll be tied with Alex.
Really impressive how they're moving through this steep part of the wall. It's where the height really starts to get to you. Can't look down at all.
And Brian, again, I'm glad I didn't get this high when I got to climb on this wall today, because it was terrifying below this point.
We have a real battle forming here, Chris. Alex actually looks really comfortable right now. She's a few moves ahead of Ashima. See if Alex can pull the first few moves on this head wall. She'll be in great position to move on to the next round.
Yeah, this is impressive. You know, Brian, and there goes Alex. I was going to say that sometimes being a veteran is what it comes down to, but right now Ashima is perhaps glad that she's been taking her time, and now she's going to have a chance just to go at her own pace. No competition to the top of the wall. As long as she gets to as high as where Alex was, she will be the one to move on.
Yep. Got to pass that high point, and she'll be in our next round. Crowd really starting to build here in Park City.
And here goes Ashima, just still taking her time because, and her feet are cutting. She's just really enjoying this, I think. Again, she's looking a little more tired than I thought she'd look, but there she goes confidently on the final head wall. She's climbing into the sun, looking great. And I think she's feeling more confident now that it's not as steep. She's going to make it to the top of the wall. And there she goes. Ashima Shiraishi, our youngest competitor, made it to the top of the wall, our first female to the top.
13 years old. That is awesome. You're watching the future of climbing right there. 13 years old.
Actually, Claire made it to the top first, so Ashima is our second female to the top.
Doing this giant jump, so please.
She's tossing her chalk bag down, and now she's going to get ready. In yesterday's qualifiers, Ashima was pretty nervous. In fact, the last time she jumped off the top, she did what she's doing now, which is down climbing a few moves before jumping off. It's a long way up, and it looks a long way down. Here she goes. She's down climbing the route. This is unbelievable. I wonder how far she'll go. And that's a big plunge for someone that small.
All right, next up on the left, we have Alex Puccio. On the right, we have Megan Martin. Here we go. Give it up.
All right, Brian's back here to join us. Looks like we're going to have Alex Puccio, one of the strongest women in climbing in the world, and Megan Martin on the right. She was our third place competitor from last year, and you may have seen her on American Ninja Warrior.
Set, go. Okay, I'm here with Alex. Alex, what happened there?
That was some nice strategy by Ashima there. Got to where she needed to, and she moves on to the next round. Chris, this is Alex Puccio's first time in this event. She did not climb last year, and she came out yesterday and looked really comfortable on the wall. The route looks super easy for her. We know she's at the top of her game right now. Really excited to see her compete this year.
That's right, Brian. It looks like Megan is perhaps a little more fired up even than she was yesterday. She didn't do quite as well as we expected yesterday, but here she is against Alex Puccio, and she's almost neck and neck. Alex, as usual, is looking very strong, very confident, and they're neck and neck now.
Yeah, I think Megan knows that if she wants to beat Alex, she's going to have to beat her to the top of the wall. She knows Alex can do this route. She did it twice yesterday.
Yeah, you know, this women's route, after talking to a few of the competitors earlier today, it's actually not as difficult as it was last year. So the women know that they can climb the route. That's when it comes down to speed, and there goes Megan Martin taking the big plunge.
That's it for Megan.
Megan is out, our third-place competitor from last year, and there goes Alex Puccio getting the crowd involved, going for the final head wall to the top, and she's already done this twice yesterday, so she's feeling comfortable and owning it right now.
She's resting up. These last couple moves are no joke. They look okay, but they're bad hill slopers. She's got to just rest up here and then punch it. Come on, come on.
It's like she's just going to get a little bonus climbing in right now.
That's right. Can you imagine that bonus climbing 50 feet off the water?
I think Alex Puccio is definitely one of the favorites tonight.
No doubt about that. And there goes Alex, throwing her chalk bag down, getting ready for the dismount. I think it's going to be real close, I think, between Ashima and Alex. It's interesting how these ladies really have to get psyched, and there goes Alex down climbing even further than Ashima did.
She's doing a lot of extra work right now. She didn't need to top out the route, and now she's climbing back down. Hanging 50 feet off the ground.
And she's hesitating. There she goes.
Splashdown for Alex Puccio. Exciting first few matchups so far. You've been watching the 2014 Clif Bar Psicobloc Masters. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the 2014 Clif Bar Psicobloc Masters, live from Park City, Utah. Brought to you in part by great sponsors like Goal Zero, Prana, and Sanuk. Thanks to them for their support of this event. Without them, it wouldn't be possible. Wouldn't be bringing you a matchup like this one. Chris, who do we have on the wall?
Brian, we've got Delaney Miller, our last year's second-place competitor, on the left, and we've got Angie Payne on the right. Delaney put in a slightly subpar performance yesterday, I've got to say it. She looked a little nervous. She looked a little cold. It was much colder yesterday, but right now she's looking good. Angie Payne, fresh off of climbing her second V13. She was the first woman on the planet to climb a boulder rated V13, and here they are neck and neck up against each other. It's anybody's guess.
Yeah, they both looked tentative yesterday. It's weird that Delaney looked really tentative, yet she's still qualified in third place. She just has a real tenacious approach to her climbing, and she doesn't let go, and that serves her well. Angie looked really tentative, especially in the steeper section. We'll see how she does today.
Yeah, I think the fear factor gets to Angie perhaps a little more than it gets to Delaney, and it's no small factor. Most athletes struggle with this a little bit, and there goes Angie on the first hard move, and she makes it. Delaney, the only worry I have about her is that she's a little slow. She's doing okay so far, but her climbing style is on the slow side.
Angie made it in the semifinals. Delaney made it in the finals last year, so she finished second. So these are two of the top four.
And we're seeing a lot of situations here where one competitor knows that they probably need to outclimb the other competitor when it comes to speed, beat them to the top of the wall. They know that they can outlast them when it comes to just hanging out and taking their time getting to the top. That's what this event's all about. Fastest climbers to the top in each round are going to move on.
Angie on the right is 10 years older than Delaney on the left. Angie's 29. Delaney is 19, and Angie sure has a lot of competition under her belt, but Delaney sure has a lot of podium finishes in her belt recently.
Yeah, Chris, she's two-time reigning SCS national champion. That's for lead climbing, rope climbing, which is pretty similar to this, except for the whole Giant pool. Angie's about to feel. Oh.
Yeah, Angie just took the spill. She was too tentative. She looked too scared. And Delaney just did the move that Angie was a little too afraid to commit to. Looks like Angie's out, and Delaney will continue on.
It looks like she's going to call it good. Nope. Let's see what she does here.
Yeah, looks like Delaney's down climbing to jump off, I bet. She doesn't need to finish the route, apparently. It would have served her well, I think, to finish the route, but she will have a few more rounds to go, so maybe she just wants to conserve energy.
Yeah, it's definitely an endurance event. Climbers going to have to climb on this route at least 4 times to win the event.
Up next, we have on the right, last year's champion.
Delaney Miller, our second place finisher last year, moving on to the next round. To move on to our next pair of competitors.
Andrea Seke. Here we go, head to head.
That sure was a great performance. And Delaney just taking hopefully the right strategic path.
All right, let's go down to poolside where Delaney Miller is standing by with Nina Williams. Nina, take it away.
Delaney, that was super impressive, but what made you drop off instead of topping out?
I just wanted to save some energy for the next couple of rounds. I knew that the route is tiring, so just trying to be efficient.
Yeah, it looks pretty rough falling into that water, but very strong performance and looking forward to seeing you in the next round.
All right, thanks, Nina. Chris, who do we have up next now?
Right now, Brian, we've got Andrea Seke on the left and Sasha DeJulian, our champion from last year's Seco Comp, on the right. Yesterday, Sasha did not very well comparatively, falling low. She's a faster climber than Andrea, as you can see right now. Andrea is more like a slow-moving train. She makes it to the top, but she's going to have to speed it up in order to win this competition tonight.
Yeah, Chris, I don't want to say Andrea climbed slow yesterday, but I think half the competitors turned another year old while Andrea was on the wall during her qualifying run.
That's right, Brian. I believe she pulled in the slowest time to the top of the wall at 9 minutes compared to most of the women who were more in around 3 or 4 minutes, I'd say.
That's right. See if Sasha can get her form back here. She looks good so far, but I think she petered out in the steeper sections yesterday. We'll see how she does.
When we asked her for an interview tonight, Brian, she was a little hesitant to even come to our booth because she wanted to stay in the zone, get warmed up properly, get psyched. She's definitely taking this comp seriously, and right now it's showing.
Sasha's starting to blast through this thing. She knows she wants to get a good time.
She wants it.
Andrea on the left, born in Hungary, lives in Boulder, Colorado right now. Graduated from Stanford. Been climbing since she was 8 years old. The strongest woman in the world.
Andrea's mom actually was an Olympic champion a couple years in a row. She was a gymnast, and I'm sure that's where Andrea gets some of her genes for sport climbing.
Could be getting set up for our first bracket busting upset of the night so far. Andrea was our 6th place qualifier. Sasha was number 11, and there goes Sasha.
There goes Sasha. That is a surprise fall from Sasha DeJulian. And looks like now it's Andrea's terrain because she has all the time in the world now to get to the top.
And we know from yesterday that she can get to the top, so it's just a matter of her taking her time and trying to best that high point that she knows Sasha put up there.
And good thing Andrea is one of the champions here in slow climbing. She can do all these moves, and she knows it. She climbed very high yesterday, including getting to the top of the wall. She's got... okay, so they just put a time limit on her.
Yeah, it looks like there is a time limit for finals tonight. She has 1 minute left to get to the top, get higher than Sasha did.
Now that's going to push her because her style has always been to rest on every single hold. And it looks like that 1 minute time, I'm wondering if she even knew about that.
Doesn't look like she did because she was really climbing slow. But she's turned on the gas now. She knows where she needs to get to. She's going to start motoring.
She'd better start motoring because, she's got a little ways to go before she catches up to Sasha, and she's probably down to 30 seconds. Oh, and there goes Andrea. Lower than Sasha. Sasha takes it. And right now I can see Sasha on the side of the pool, and she looks surprised. I think Sasha did not expect Andrea to fall off. And maybe that was because Andrea did not know about the 1 minute time limit. I'm just guessing here.
I think that's just going to be tough for Andrea there. She's a more methodical climber, and she needs to take her time.
How you guys doing? Yeah, right on.
All right. Next up, we have on the left, Kyra Condi. On the right, Emily Harrington.
All right, we're going to have a special guest in just a second, but before that, let's go down poolside to Nina Williams. Nina, take it away.
So, Andrea, you look pretty strong up there, but what happened?
I think I'm pretty bad with dynamic moves, and I need to take a minute to set up for them well. I spent a little bit too long in the beginning, and like when I got to where I was, I felt really rushed and just didn't do a good job setting up for the move and didn't go far enough, but I think...
Yeah, the pressure can be pretty hard, but you climbed really well in the end. Nice job.
All right, thanks, Nina, for that. As we watch our 7th place qualifier, Kyra Condi against Emily Harrington, we have a really special guest in the booth right now. Chris Sharma is joining us. Chris, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, of course, man. Good to be here. Psyched for you guys to be here, too.
Yeah, for sure. Talk a little bit about this event. Where did the idea come from? You
Well,
came up with this last year?
I mean, this event came from going deepwater soloing in Mallorca and just falling in love with this type of climbing and thinking that this would be the way forward for our sport, you know, and taking it to a bigger audience and doing something that's really fun for all the climbers, so, and for the spectators, of course.
Sure. You know, Chris, I totally agree with you. I honestly, personally, I think that this is the only climbing competition that's really worth watching for everybody, because I feel like climbers and non-climbers alike can relate to what's going on up there on the wall.
Yeah, no, we've always talked about like how rad it would be to do this, and to finally have the opportunity to make it happen. It's such an honor and to be a part of that, and just to see everybody so psyched and kind of confirm our imagine that we thought it was going to be good, and it ended up being as good as we thought it was going to be.
And Chris, what do you make of the competition this year? There's all these young climbers that come out, they haven't deepwater soled before, and they show no fear. Climbers like Claire Burfine.
Well, we were a little bit concerned to bring, underage climbers to this event because there is, a little bit of risk involved. But, my partners from Momentum, they really they were really pushing for that. And, they were like, well, look, there's kids competing in the Pipeline Masters surf competition. You're like, well, that's way more dangerous. So
yeah,
I guess we kind of have to let them give it a chance. And especially with girls like Ashima, it's like, kind of have to give them a chance because they're just so darn good.
Yeah, we just had Kyra Condi move on to the next round there.
Nice.
While we're talking, Chris, what do you make of how little fear the climbers seem to show? Chris and I both went up on the wall this afternoon, and we both got pretty scared.
Nice.
The younger climbers just come right out there and go to the top of the wall like it's no problem.
Nice. Yeah, well, it's cool. I mean, it's still just climbing, so they might not have ever deepwater soloed before, but it's pretty much nice.
Chris, what do you expect to see from yourself and the other male competitors tonight?
Well, the male route, we made it a little bit. They made it a little bit easier than last year, so that means that a number of us made it to the top in the practice session. So it's probably going to come down to speed, which is a little bit of a different element than last year, but I think it's going to be really cool to watch. Sean McCall is going. He climbed the route in like 59 seconds, so it's kind of crazy.
Right.
Like,
yeah, it was
I've never tried to climb that fast, but I think it's going to be a format that's going to be really fun to watch.
Yeah, what do you feel like you're going to have to do? Are you going to have to go fast, maybe bide your time and see what the other person does, or you just have to go all out once you get on the wall there?
I kind of think, especially in this male field, you have to go all out because it's, like those guys are going all out and they're going really fast. So if you stop for 1 second to look at the other person, you're going to miss, valuable time. So.
And right now we're watching Grace McKeehan on the left there climbing against Sarah Griffith from Southern California, who just fell off the wall. Looks like Grace McKeehan's going to be moving on to the next round.
Nice.
Chris, I have one more question for you. It looked like in last year's Psicocomp, some people were wondering whether you deliberately fell off or was that an actual fall? Because we all know that was
an actual fall.
Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, with a move like that, with a dyno, it's like it can always, anything can happen. And
absolutely.
I know for me, it's definitely a trip wearing the hat of event organizer and running around like crazy. And then all of a sudden, putting my shoes on to go climb. But in the end, I mean, it's all about just showing off our sport to the world, and we've got this amazing platform to do that with this event, and I'm happy to be a part of that.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a great platform to show off climbing. Chris, thanks so much for putting this event on again this year, and we're looking forward to seeing you tonight. I know there's a lot of people out there cheering for you.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
right
on.
Best of luck, Chris.
Yeah, all the best to you guys. Take care.
Yeah, good luck.
All right, back to the action here. It looks like Grace McKeon's getting some free climbing in.
Yeah, Grace is making her way up the wall.
Looks like
and there she just fell off. That was the last of our ladies.
All right, great job by Grace. That's going to wrap up the first round. Welcome back to the 2014 Clif Bar Psicobloc Masters, live from Park City, Utah. Chris, women's first round of final round just ended. What do you make of what we saw there?
You know, that was a great competition, really fun to watch. I think the spectators really enjoyed it. No surprises, really. Claire Burfine and Michaela Kirsch moved on. Ashima Shiraishi and Alex Puccio moved on. Delaney and Sasha. And really no surprises. Some of our strongest competitors from last night just moved right on. So
yeah, I think this round is when we're going to start to get some of our stronger pairings. We got Claire Burfine and Michaela Kirsch on the wall right now. Each round, the stakes are just going to increase that much. The climber's going to be that much more tired. There's not that much rest in between rounds here.
Yeah, you know, that's actually going to be one of the main factors in this is endurance, because some of these people, like you just mentioned, Claire, for example, is climbing again right away, as is Michaela. They've only had a few minutes of rest while all the other ladies went, and they really need to go for speed here. They're neck and neck.
We are up here in Park City. It's a little bit warmer than it was last night. Last night was a cold qualifier round, windy. Tonight, beautiful, clear skies. Pretty pleasant out right now, so the competitors shouldn't be dealing too much with those conditions as they're up on the wall. See Claire moving quickly again. Somebody's really going to have to put the screws down to beat her.
And that's right. I think Claire is definitely one of the favorites tonight. She was our first place competitor last night, and right now she's really proving that she's a consistent, comfortable, and confident climber on this wall. She's making the big moves. She is one of the taller female athletes, and it appears that might be helping her.
Big crossover move. Swing your feet up.
Both these competitors part of the youth contingent on the women's side. Grace, 16 years old. Excuse me, Claire, 16 years old. Michaela's going to have to pick up the pace here. Hope for Claire to make a mistake.
Yeah, it looks like Claire only has a few moves left, and she appears to be dominating now. I think time is on her side. She can take her time because Michaela is still far enough below. And there she goes, climbing into the sun on the final moves. We know these aren't hard for her. We watched her yesterday, and there she goes to the top of the wall, skipping the final hold once again.
Really impressive climbing so far from Claire Burfine. She's got to get off the top of this wall now.
There goes Michaela. She did do a few more moves. She didn't have to, but there she goes. She's off the wall, and Claire again is going to get ready to throw her chalk bag off the top of the wall and get ready to jump in.
There goes the chalk bag. Here comes Claire.
As we see Claire jumping off the top of the wall, we're going to have Ashima Shirashi and Alex Puccio up next. That's going to be a really interesting battle. Two of the most accomplished women climbers in the world. And Ashima's only 13 years old.
Brian, I'm really excited for this contest because, honestly, if I had to choose who was going to win this, Ashima and Alex would certainly be among the top three, Claire being the third, I'd say. And we just saw Claire win. We're going to see who's going to win between Ashima and Alex. This is going to decide something big here because either one could win this any chance.
Yeah, it's a very big matchup this early in the evening in our quarterfinal round here. There goes big off the top of this wall, 55 feet above this pool.
You know, Brian, I love it. We've seen a lot of competitors jump off the top of the wall, and it just never gets old.
I want to hear from y'all up there in the gold level seats. Can you hear me? You guys having a good time?
You know, the interesting thing about our competitors coming up here, Alex and Ashima, Alex Puccio started climbing at 13 years old, and Ashima is only 13 years old and already as accomplished as Alex Puccio.
That's a recurring theme tonight.
Exactly. Here we go. All right. I'm on the right. Alex Puccio.
Definitely one of our biggest matchups so far. It'll be really exciting to see
Ready? Go.
who's going to come out. Who's going to come out on top, Chris?
Yeah, I'm really excited about this one. Ashima is putting on the pedal to the metal here. She was very slow in the last round. She's looking a little faster. She knows she's going to have to commit to beat Alex, our 8-time ABS bouldering national champion, and a woman who just climbed V14. In fact, they both just climbed V14, the hardest number ever climbed by women in the world.
She's been here before. Straight drag race. They know the drill.
Both these women have topped out this route, so they both know that they can do it. They're just going to be measuring each other, keeping tabs on their competitor while trying to keep focus on what they're doing.
The difference between these women is Ashima is actually a sport climber, meaning she does a lot of these routes that are this long. She has climbed up to 14C, a level that only a few women in the world have achieved. Alex Puccio, on the other hand, is not much of a sport climber. She prefers the shorter climbs, but like we've talked about, she sure looks confident and comfortable on this wall. And right now, she is dominating Ashima.
Yeah, she's well in front right now.
Puccio is scalding right now. She can't be stopped. This is exactly what she wants.
Alex Puccio, a.k.a. the Pooch, coming up on the head wall here. Ashima taking her time like she normally does sport climbing, but she's really going to have to put the pressure on if she's going to make it. She's going to have to commit to these big moves. And I don't know if she has a chance. Alex only has a few moves left.
Yeah, I don't think she's had enough time to catch up. Alex just basking in the sun right now as she tops out this wall.
And Alex just made it. Alex is moving on, and Ashima is eliminated. That is not a total surprise, but a little bit.
It's great to see Ashima out here. I'm sure we're going to see her competing for years to come at a really high level. She's just 13 years old. So we get a great shot of Alex and Ashima on top of the wall right now in front of the huge crowd here in Park City.
Sun setting in the background. You know, that just proves, Brian, that sometimes being a veteran helps.
We have a little tandem jump here.
That's the best thing. Come on.
They're giving each other eyes. Are we going to do this? Are we going to actually jump together off this wall? We saw Ashima down climb a couple body lengths before because it's terrifying to look down on this pool. But hopefully they're going to do the simul jump.
Looks like they're regrouping.
Now halfway through our quarterfinal round, we have 2 matchups left before moving on to semifinal pairings.
Come on, let's see that simul jump.
Got Delaney Miller and Sasha Julian waiting in the wings for these 2 climbers to dismount.
Last light.
Looks like now we're looking at an instant replay of Alex versus Ashima. This, again, was one of our hottest female mashups because both looked so solid in yesterday's qualifiers, but obviously you can tell Alex is well ahead of the game. They both made it to the top, but Alex beat them.
And look at this interesting teamwork happening right now. Both not feeling too good about jumping from the top of the wall. It makes a big difference if you can cut off 10 feet. Just drop off.
They're doing the simul chicken. The simul chicken, down climbing several body lengths. Neither is willing to jump off the very top of the wall again. They're scared, and I don't blame them. And it looks like our 13-year-old jumped off first, and Alex is going to have to follow suit.
That was not very nice.
There she goes. It happens fast, but the anticipation is terrifying. Brian, I'm really looking forward to the next round because we're going to see our first and second place finishers from last year in this next round. Another very hot round.
This is a repeat of last year's finals. It ain't going to happen again. One of you is moving on, one of you is not. Let's traverse on out. Okay, climbers set. Ready, go. Okay, Alex, how was it up there? That was awesome. You're hauling ass.
Yeah, a little bit speed climbing.
Right now you're seeing our first and second place women from last year competing on the wall. This is a hot contest. Both of them looked a little subpar from last year in yesterday's competition, but here they go.
She's gonna be the face to climb. She already is, and I need to get the few more years I have.
It's a matchup of our last two Open National Championships.
All right, Sasha and Delaney, here we go. Again, these two are pros on the comp scene.
Right now we're really enjoying this because they're neck and neck. They're move for move, less than half a second away from each other. Delaney Miller on the left, our second place finisher from last year, and Sasha DeJulian on the right, our champion from last year's Psicobloc. She only placed 11th in the seeding round, but right now she's showing her stuff. Delaney being a little more hesitant. Sasha really wants it tonight. You can tell from the way she climbed in her first round.
Yeah, and Chris, right now we're joined by another special guest, one of our male competitors, Maddie Hong. Maddie, thanks for stopping by. Good, how are you feeling?
I'm good. Kind of mixed with excitement and anxiousness, you know.
Does it make it easier watching these women compete, watching them splash down every
It
time?
does, actually. You kind of like get at ease with the whole situation, so it helps. I was more nervous before I even came up to this venue, sitting in my hotel. Like, that's when the most nerves come.
Yeah, how did qualifiers go for you yesterday?
They were good. I fell on the dyno, which you can't see right now because there's an extra hold, but it's about halfway up the wall, but my second try I went to the top. So hopefully the dyno doesn't give me too much trouble today.
I'm going to interrupt for a second here because we're watching Sasha DeJulian making the big move, and Delaney Miller, again, our first and second place finishers from last year. Neck and neck, it could be anyone's game right now, but Sasha's getting awfully close to that head wall, which they all seem to climb quickly to the top.
And Maddie, what's going through their minds right now as they're getting to this head wall racing against each other like this?
Well, let's see. Sasha's looking a little pumped right now.
Oh, the head snap. The head snap shows that they're pumped.
She's got about 2 more moves, and the holds get a little better.
Delaney's looking really strong.
Pretty bad.
Delaney's really pouring on right now.
Yeah, Delaney's going to cruise to the top.
And Delaney feels so good about that, I can tell. She just saw Sasha DeJulian fall into the pool, and Delaney knows she is ahead.
When you're neck and neck like that at the top, it's pretty intense. You know, it's like if you're pumped or you need to spend a second to chalk up, you can't necessarily do that.
Another top out for Delaney Miller. She's going to be moving on to semifinals.
Well, that sure was exciting to see. Delaney Miller, she wanted that one for the last year. We talked to her a couple days ago, and she's been looking forward to this Seco Comp for an entire year when she got second place to Sasha last year.
We're gonna
jump off the top. Sasha, real quick, what was up with that? Where you fell?
We're going to have a new champion this year, guys.
Yeah, looks like it.
That's right, Brian. We're going to have a new champion. Not sure who it's going to be yet, that's for sure. But right now, Delaney is getting ready to dismount from the top of the wall. She's smiling at the crowd. She's asking for a countdown, a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and she's going to go for it.
3, 2, 1. Delaney bomb.
Oh.
Come on, that's massive.
Delaney bomb into the pool.
Perfect form, Delaney. Way
You know you're getting to the top a lot when JT's having to make up a nickname for your jump in.
That's right.
Delaney has been so far this weekend.
Maddie, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah.
All right, let's take another look at Delaney and Sasha's battle here as we send Maddie off.
There goes Sasha falling off. Not totally a surprise after watching her yesterday, but you know that she's disappointed. She wanted that championship again this year, but it's just not going to happen for Sasha DeJulian this year. Delaney now has a chance, and she's been looking forward to that for an entire year.
This is your spot in the semifinals. Here we go. Ready, set, go.
All right, Chris. We have our last quarterfinal matchup here. Vying for that last spot in the final four competitors. Kyra Condi on the left, Grace McKeon on the right. Both competitors super fast climbers.
Kyra's 18 years old and Grace is 16 years old.
Grace took second in speed at SDS Nationals this year in her age division. Kyra's always been known for climbing really fast, even when it doesn't help.
I remember watching Grace in the ABS Nationals this year. She has passion. There's something about watching Grace climb. She really goes for it. She may not have the raw power that some of these ladies have quite yet. She's still pretty young, but she sure has the heart. That's what I see in Grace McKeon.
Both competitors moving up quickly.
These two competitors are getting really close. This is a good match. This is a really exciting one. Kyra's looking a little hesitant, having to double pump for that. Oh, and there she goes. Kyra Condi is now in the pool. Grace McKeon now only has to make another move or two, and she will definitely move on.
Grace knows she's got plenty of time now. She just has to get higher than what Kyra got to. These next two moves are not easy. It's a big reach up there.
It looks like Grace can now take her time. Again, she only has to make one or two more moves, and she will definitely move on to the next round, the quarterfinals. She's taking her time. She wouldn't be doing this if Kyra was still climbing, but right now she has the luxury to rest. She's making the big moves with confidence. She's just going to slowly make her way up the wall. We'll see how high she goes because she doesn't have to go any further, and she's already won this round.
It's going to be a complete Texas domination of our semifinal round, all four competitors.
And there goes
coming out of
Grace.
Texas. All right, that wraps up our quarterfinal round. You've been watching the 2014 Clif Bar Psicobloc Masters. We'll be right back.
Everybody needs beauty, as well as bread. Places to play in and pray in, where nature may heal and give strength to body and soul. The mountains are calling, and I must go.
Welcome back to the 2014 Clif Bar Psicobloc Masters, brought to you in part by those great sponsors you just saw there. Without their support, this event would not be possible, so we want to thank them for their support. And Chris, we're back here in the women's semifinal round is going to be coming up in just a few minutes. We're giving the competitors a chance to rest and recover a little bit after 2 trips up the wall. A number of the semifinals made it all the way to the top, so they're going to get a little bit of a break and recharge just a little bit.
That's right. Gosh, I don't blame them because that's 55 feet of hard climbing. And more than that, it's mentally taxing to be up on that wall. I can only sympathize that they need some extra time to chill out, take a break. We've got Claire versus Alex. That's Claire Burfine versus Alex Puccio. And then we have Delaney Miller versus Grace McKeon. All 4 of them have a chance to win this. It's really anybody's game. What do you think, Brian?
Well, I would say there really were no surprises during that the first 2 rounds. I think the 4 best climbers made it through. No surprise to see Claire and Grace. They both climbed super well yesterday during qualifiers, and Alex Puccio, obviously on top of her game right now. And even though this is a longer form event, it's really no surprise to see her make it to semifinals.
That's right. And again, of note, we mentioned this earlier, but it's great that 2 of our top 4 competitors, Claire Burfine and Grace McKeon, they were not initially in this event. They had to qualify for the event against a big field of competitors. It was a speed climbing competition that they did in Salt Lake City just a couple days ago. And yeah, it was great.
Yeah, talking to some people that were there at the qualifiers, it sounded really competitive, really difficult to get into this event. And a lot of climbers a lot of really good climbers want into this event. It's a really big deal. There's that $30,000 cash purse and huge audience at home watching. It's one of the premier events that people want to compete in year after year at this point.
Absolutely. And the unique thing about Psicobloc is that it's a standalone event. Unlike the ABS Nationals and SCS Nationals and all this, this is one event, one time, and this is the only time in the year that these competitors have a chance to climb on a wall so high above the water, no ropes. So it's really kind of nice because it levels the playing field in a way.
That's right, Chris. So we're getting a good look at this wall. Crowd really starting to fill in. Sun's starting to set here in Park City. Beautiful conditions for the comp tonight, much nicer than last night where everyone was pretty much freezing.
I think I was in 6 layers at this point last night, but sure enough, no wind tonight. It feels good.
Yeah, it's worth keeping in mind the water in this pool is not heated in any way. It's pretty cool. Every time the climbers go in, it's not all that refreshing. It's hard to keep warm in between rounds. They got a hot tub and a warming tent back there.
You know, Brian, I just got to say, I'm going to put in my personal plug here since we have a bit of time. Grace McKeon is just my personal little favorite because, like I said earlier, she sure has the heart. I see that all 4, Claire Burfine, Alex Puccio, Delaney Miller, and Grace, they all have the talent, they all have the speed, and they all have the experience to win this competition. But for some reason, I got to say, I see it in just the flash of her eyes. Grace McKeon, she's skinny. She doesn't look as powerful, but she sure makes her way up the wall with heart. And I'm kind of rooting for her, I got to be honest.
Yeah, I think we're going to be in for a really great semifinal and final round. These climbers are really familiar with the route now, and they know that they can go fast, and they're going to have to beat each of the competitors they're up against. Nobody's going to be going slow and saving anything for later. There's only 2 rounds left. See who's going to be that 2014 Psicobloc Masters champion.
That's right. And Delaney Miller, you know, I kind of want to see her winning also because she was the 2nd place winner from last year, and she has been looking forward to this for an entire year, she told us. Alex Puccio deserves to win because she's one of the strongest females in the world, just proving herself on the rocks of Rocky Mountain National Park in Colorado. And Claire Burfine sure is awesome. Again, another newcomer just like Grace. So really, it's anybody's game, and I hope that anyone who wins the best. I just wish them all the best. They all deserve it, really.
Yeah, it's been a great show so far. All 4 deserving potential winners, but we got to decide it on the wall, over the pool. Looks like we're going to get our semifinal round underway in just a minute here. Just want to make sure everything's fair. Some of these climbers just got done. Some had a little bit longer rest, so they're going to try and even things out just a little bit.
And this is great, Brian, because it looks like the crowd is just kind of slowly filling the stage here. We were a little concerned earlier when we started this broadcast because there weren't as many people as last year, but sure enough, no need to worry because it is filling in fast. People are packing this stadium right now to watch the quarterfinals.
And as we're about to get the women's semifinals underway, we're going to have another one of our male competitors join us.
What's up?
Got Daniel Woods, fresh off a plane from Africa, like half the competitors it seems like. Daniel, how are you doing?
Doing well. Definitely not so jet lagged anymore, so that's nice, and just like to throw down at the Psychocom now.
Yeah, you finished 2nd last year, right?
Yeah, it was a fun battle with Jimmy, but he got it. He's a strong dude.
Yeah, I was a little surprised by that last year. Jimmy wouldn't have thought would excel at this format, but he did.
Yeah, it's really anybody's guess here. So it looks like speed is going to be one of the big factors deciding who wins tonight's comp. How do you feel about the speed aspect of this competition?
I think the speed aspect's cool. It allows for a fast-paced show, and it keeps the audience entertained. So that's kind of what we're here for, is just to give the audience a good show. As for me as a speed climber, I'm not the greatest. I'm more isolated and slower, but we'll try to get in the zone and speed it up a little bit. But Carlo and Sean and Chris, all those guys are like strong as hell. So definitely gonna have to definitely gonna have to try hard.
And Danny, who do you like in our women's semifinals here? We've got Claire Burfine and Alex Puccio left, and Delaney Miller and Grace McKeon. Who do you like to win for the women?
Oh man, that's a tough one. They're all like really talented athletes. I've known Puccio a long time, so I think rooting for her. Well, hopefully she can pull it out and stuff. But it's going to be a tough battle. We're about to see it go down right now, so.
Yeah, we'll see if she can pull one out for the over 20 crowd.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
3 of them are from Texas.
See Alex warming up there by that heating element there.
Daniel, what do you expect to see from the male competitors tonight, including yourself?
I don't know, actually. It's kind of open at the moment. I think we're going to get a better consensus of the rankings and stuff as we begin to start the round and stuff. But like I said before, they're all strong, so we have a dyno halfway up, so you could easily pitch off that. It's kind of a low percentage move. There's a crux at the top, so you can take a big fall up there. So it's just if you can hold it together, execute the moves, and move fluidly, and just go for it, then you have a good shot at going on to the next round and not worrying about like what the other person's doing next to you.
Having made that dyno a couple times yesterday, are you confident that you can make it again?
Definitely sticking it allows me to be pretty confident, but I mean, I could have a bad day today and blow it, so I don't know. I don't want to jinx myself.
Sure thing.
We'll just get in the zone and execute and then go from there.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Daniel.
Yeah, no worries.
Let you get back to warming up, Daniel.
We'll see you guys out there.
All right, good luck. And we've got our first women's semifinal underway here with Claire Burfine on the left, facing off against Alex Puccio. They're both wasting no time. Both about halfway up the wall already.
This is another hot contest here. They both know it's going to be hot. They both know it's coming down to speed because they both finished this wall. This will be their 4th or 5th time finishing the wall. They know they can do it. It's a race is what it is.
Claire's about 1 move ahead right now. Alex quickly caught up there. Move for move up this head wall. This 55-foot tall Walltopia wall.
And it's still anybody's guess. They only have about 10 feet left, and they are neck and neck. They're really just hold for hold. It's a true race to the top. Claire is eking out ahead of Alex.
It's anybody's game at this point. Claire and Alex.
Oh, and Claire takes it just by less than half a second.
Unbelievable.
That was an unbelievable finish. Both women so strong, so confident, and Claire Burfine.
All time.
That finish was so close. Let's try and take another look at that.
The athletes are breathing hard on top as if they had just run a sprint, and that's what it looked like. Here's the competitors again.
Claire Burfine by half a hand over Alex Puccio in our semifinal round. Incredible.
Unbelievable finish. You know Alex is super disappointed right now because she felt strong and looked strong, but Claire Burfine, the 16-year-old newbie, made it happen.
That is what we all came here to see at the Psicobloc Masters. Incredible competition, head-to-head, clear winner.
And the women are just tired at the top. And it looks like Claire is opting to climb down the back, perhaps. I don't know. But both women look exhausted on the top. They basically just ran the 400-meter dash. They're breathing hard, and there's a big smile. I just saw that big smile from Claire Burfine, who just beat Alex Puccio, one of the strongest females in the world.
Yeah, Chris, I don't know if Claire's failed to top out this wall at all this weekend. She finished it twice yesterday. She finishes it once again here. And it's hard to overstate. It's actually pretty tiring to jump from the top of the wall. It really takes some energy out of you when you hit that water.
And that's right. Yeah, there's no guarantee you're going to hit it right.
That's right.
Claire just moved on then to the semifinals, and we're about to find out. Or, I'm sorry, the finals. We're about to find out whether it's Delaney or Grace.
All right, so we got about just a 20-second delay here because Grace just realized she did not have a chalk bag.
Going to get our second semifinal underway in just a second once Grace McKeon finds her chalk bag. Guessing there's one around here somewhere that she could use. Hard to keep this stuff dry, though. Every time you go in the water, everything gets soaked. That's why you see the competitors throwing down their chalk bags when they're able to from the top of the wall, trying to conserve their dry equipment.
I'm really excited to see this next battle between Delaney Miller and Grace McKeon.
All right, let's go down to poolside with Nina Williams, who's with Claire Burfine. Nina?
Claire, that was an incredible performance, especially considering that was your third lap of the night on what can't be an easy route. At any point in time, did you think you were going to lose?
Oh yeah. I started panicking there at the end. I got to the slopers and I barely saw out of the corner of my eye. I was like, oh my god. I was so out of breath.
Yeah, you guys were really gunning for it to the top, but we're really excited to see you in finals. That was awesome. Nice job.
All right, thanks, Nina. As our last semifinal gets underway here, Grace McKeon comes out like a lightning bolt.
That's right. We've got Grace McKeon on the right and Delaney Miller on the left. Grace is more of a speed climber than Delaney. She's been training for this kind of comp. Delaney has also, but Delaney is more of a sport climber outside. She has a slower style, but she's pushing herself right now. They're about even. Big Moon gracing Grace in the background. They are almost neck and neck. Grace is getting just ahead. Delaney's pushing her speed.
It's interesting. Delaney's moving very deliberately, and Grace is moving very quickly, but they're keeping pace because Grace is kind of taking her time. Every move that she stops, chalking up, as we can see. I think she's just kind of pacing herself.
That's right. It sure looks like. Oh, and there goes Grace. Delaney just did a static move, and Grace just had to leap for this move. Grace has a very dynamic style. And there goes Delaney sticking that same dyno. They're both going for it. Grace just a bit ahead.
Just over halfway up this wall here. Delaney Miller versus Grace McKeon. Our second semifinal.
At this point, it could really drop to either of these athletes, Brian. They're both on the same spot. They're both resting. They both know they need a little more juice for the final wall, but they don't have that far to go. So whoever pushes the buttons and gets it going first from here could be our winner. And there goes Delaney first.
Delaney pulls into the lead here.
Grace is chalking a little more than she needs to. Come on, Grace. There she goes, but Delaney is ahead by a body length. She only has 5 or 6 more moves to the top of the wall. Grace is struggling to keep up.
Grace is really going to have to turn it on here, pick up the pace if she wants to pass Delaney Miller, make it into our final.
And look at Delaney just climbing very deliberately. She knows she's got it now.
She's got one more move. There she goes.
And Delaney, our second place winner from last year, just got to the top of the wall. Grace is eliminated, and Delaney will move on to the final round.
2 straight years into the finals for Delaney Miller. She's going to face off against Claire Burfine. And that's going to be a really great matchup. Really contrast in styles.
Brian, I'm really impressed, especially after seeing Delaney so hesitant and falling relatively low in yesterday's event. She did get 3rd place in the seeding round, but it was still a little less confident than I expected to see her.
Yeah, we kind of undersold her at the beginning of the broadcast, but she came out here and proved us wrong, showing that she deserves a place in this final.
She certainly does deserve a place. And now the ladies are getting ready for a simul jump, it appears. They're looking at each other. They both did their best. Grace, who lost this round, is still looking happy up there. Again, they look exhausted like they had just run a sprint. And they were asking the crowd for a countdown, and they're going to go for the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What a big double splash from the ladies. That was awesome.
All right, we're all set for our final round coming up in just a little bit. Claire Burfine against Delaney Miller. You've been watching the 2014 Clif Bar Psicobloc Masters. We'll be right back after this quick break.
I'm Gary Erickson, founder of Clif Bar and Company. I don't think Clif Bar would have existed without long days on a rock face climbing.
Clif Bar was created by a climber nearly 25 years ago, by somebody who's actually doing it. It's been a part of the sport for a long time and continues to feed our adventures up there.
Welcome back to the 2014 Clif Bar Psicobloc Masters. We are live from Park City, Utah, at the Olympic Training Center, where we've got this incredible Walltopia wall, 55 feet over this training pool that's normally used for ski jumping, which we're going to see a little bit of a demo in just a little bit. Looks like we're going to do a little route maintenance before final starts. Chris, we have our first place qualifier and our third place qualifier in finals, Claire Burfine and Delaney Miller. How do you break down this matchup between them?
You know, Brian, I'm really not sure who's going to take this one. It sure looked to me like Claire Burfine has the confidence and the skills to climb a little faster than Delaney, and unless they're actually changing the route right now, which I'm not sure, it looks like they might just be doing route maintenance, but if they're making it harder, then the climbers are going to have to climb a little slower. Delaney certainly has the skill set to send this competition, but it's really anybody's guess between Claire and Delaney. I think Claire is a little faster.
Got our route setting crew up there. Stephen Jeffries, Danny Andrada, Miguel Riera. Going to give our finalists just a minute to rest up here. They have climbed on this wall 3 times now tonight in a little over an hour. It's 155 feet of climbing basically for the 2 of them, in the course of the last hour.
And between Claire Burfine and Delaney Miller, it's really anybody's game, as we've talked about. They both have a great shot at this. I know Delaney wants it really bad. We talked to her before the qualifiers yesterday, and Delaney said she had been looking forward to this competition for the last year. Of all of the comps that Delaney does all year, this one was what she was looking forward to, because she hesitated last year against Sasha DeJulian and she got a second place win. This year she wants it bad. I know that for sure.
Yeah, she's quietly one of the best competitors in the country. She's won lead nationals 2 years in a row, and she's finished second at this event last year, so she keeps pretty low profile. She's very quiet, but quiet assassin out there when it comes to climbing.
That's right. A good way to describe Delaney Miller is a quiet assassin. In fact, I've seen her training at Movement Climbing and Fitness in Boulder, and when she doesn't make that boulder problem happen, she scolds herself. She's very hard on herself, but she's very passionate, and we know she wants it tonight.
All right, Chris, while we wait for the route setters to stop being so overzealous here, let's talk a little bit about the men's field that we're going to see in just a little bit. The men's field is a little bit different from the women's, whereas the women, we've had some more up-and-comers challenging the more established veterans. The men's field is a little more established climbers qualifying at the top of the leaderboard. Climbers like Sean McCall, Daniel Woods, Carlo Traversi. What are you expecting with the men's field a little bit later?
Well, Brian, just like yesterday, as you pointed out, there were no big surprises with the men, and I'm going to have to stick to that line of thinking. I don't think there's going to be any big surprise. Sean McCall was certainly our fastest climber at 59 seconds to the top of the wall compared to 9.
It's a 55-foot wall in 59 seconds.
That's unbelievable.
Wow.
I think that Sean McCall has a great chance. I think Jimmy Webb, our champion from last year, who finished 8th in last night's competition, he also has a great chance at winning this thing. Chris Sharma, another top contender, but I doubt we're going to see any of the wild card men. Unlike in the women's field, we're not going to see the wild card men winning. I just don't think we will.
Yeah, I think we only had one of the wild card men, Noah Ridge, who really looked like he could hang with some of the more established competitors. Certainly capable climber for sure. We'll just have to see how it shakes out.
That's right, and let's not forget about Carlo Traversi, our second place finisher from last night, put in a super strong performance. And as always, Matty Hong. He's a boulderer, he's a comp climber, he's a route climber, and he's the son of Steve Hong, one of the older and more accomplished climbers in America, really, doing everything. Matty Hong, third place in last year's competition, seated 6th place yesterday. And then, of course, you saw we had Daniel Woods in here. He's another contender. So really, it's the strong men that we've heard about. Sean McCall, Jimmy Webb, John Cardwell, Danny Woods, Matty Hong, and Carlo. Any of them could win.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting to watch. That's coming up in just a little bit. We've still got our women's final coming up. Looks like the route setters got a little overexcited about the switchover that's going to take place after the women are done. So they're going to put the brakes on what they were doing and get the route back into condition for the women to climb on.
Yeah, it's funny, Brian. It looks like they must have had a wrong cue, because right now they're putting back together what they just undid, right? They were kind of transitioning the route from the women's final to the men's final, which is actually worth pointing out. The men will be climbing on a more difficult route. There aren't too many differences because it would just simply take too long to change the entire route. So what the guys were just doing to the wall is tweaking it to make it harder for the men. But again, as Brian said, they were doing that a bit prematurely, so they just put it back together. And pretty soon here, we're going to be doing the finals. But in the meantime, Claire Burfine and Delaney Miller are taking a much-needed rest and getting psyched for their finals round of the women's here at the Clif Bar Psicobloc Masters.
Getting some great shots from our Louder Than 11 crew tonight.
Big shout out there to LT11.com. These guys are doing a great job with this. And don't forget to check on climbingnarc.com. That's Climbing Narcissist. My buddy here, Brian Runnels, the Climbing Narc. So obsessed with climbing, it hurts.
Always does, Chris.
That's right, baby.
Especially when we're falling into this pool. My ear still hurts.
That's right. Climbing Narc and myself had a chance to climb on this wall earlier. Good thing we weren't competing, Brian, because we just wouldn't have done that well in any field. It was terrifying.
Oh, looks like we're about ready for the women's final to get started here. Much nicer out tonight. The competitors are not turning blue, waiting for their turn to climb like they were last night. Claire looks well rested.
She just put on her shoes, getting warmed up. Can't see Delaney, but I'm sure she's doing the same thing on the other side.
It's going to be a really interesting contrast in styles here. Claire just moving so quickly between those holes. She's one of the taller female climbers. Really suits her style. It's no surprise that she's really good at speed climbing. Reigning youth national champion in her age division. Just took place recently in Atlanta back in July.
And Brian, what an amazing setting here tonight. As you said, it's much calmer and warmer than it was last night. This is a great setting for both the competitors as well as the audience. It's comfortable. The moon is up behind the wall right now. It's just absolutely beautiful. There's still some pink in the clouds, and the spotlights are going to be put on the wall here any minute now. So the shadows we're going to see from our female finalists are not going to be the shadows from the sun, Brian. They're going to be the shadows from the spotlights.
These climbers are getting a little bonus rest here. Claire's ready. Don't see Delaney.
Claire's looking antsy there. She had to be told to put her robe back on because she's so psyched. I don't know about you, Brian, but gosh, this crowd sure is filling in here. I'm looking forward to taking a quick break and having a beer. This is awesome. What a great showing. I want to say we have at least a couple thousand people, if not more.
Yeah, there's people up the hillsides here, all levels. It's a really great venue. There's not a bad seat in the house. It's really lends itself well to this kind of event.
In my opinion, Brian, this is really the best climbing competition worth watching because every single go is exciting. It doesn't matter how hard or easy it is. You get to see people either top out or take a huge wild whip into the water.
And here we go, Chris. Our final round for the 2014 Clif Bar Psicobloc Masters. For the women, it's going to be either Claire Burfine or Delaney Miller. We're about to find out.
Claire Burfine is 16 years old. Delaney is 19 years old. Delaney is only 5'2" tall. And here they go. This is going to be a fight to the death here. No doubt about it. Delaney's going to have to really push herself because she typically has a slower style. Claire's moving up confidently. Another move ahead of Delaney.
And Delaney's keeping pace so far, but Claire can just cover so much ground with each move. She's so familiar with the route. She doesn't have to hesitate or think about what she's doing at all. She can just execute the moves. She knows exactly what the next hole's going to feel like. It's her fourth trip up the wall tonight alone.
That's amazing, Brian. That's a lot of hard climbing. And Both of them are actually taking their time a little bit, chalking up. You know they're both tired. They both climbed this wall a bunch in the last couple days. And, man, this is anybody's game here. Claire's just making the big moves. A few moves ahead of Delaney. This is not surprising yet, but it still could be anybody on top of this wall first.
This could be the part where Claire really pulls ahead.
Brian, I'd be surprised if we saw either competitor fall off because they know the route. The only reason they may fall is if they're trying to push too fast.
Really looks like Claire is measuring herself, watching Delaney. Knows she doesn't have to go any faster than she is right now.
That's right. Claire skipped the rest. Claire is really positioned well now for the final head wall, which none of the women have had too much trouble with. She's not too much ahead of Delaney, but Claire wants it bad. And Claire is using her speed skills to get to the top. She only has a couple moves.
2 more moves. Burfine takes the 2014 Clif Bar Psicobloc Masters title for the women.
Brian, that's not a surprise. That was an amazing run by Claire Burfine. If you had to ask us before the event who was going to win for the ladies, it would have been Claire Burfine. We both would have put money on her, and sure enough, she pulls ahead. Delaney put in a great competition, but just wasn't fast enough to keep up with the younger competitor, Claire.
Incredible performance. Second straight year. Finishing second for Delaney. Should be a little disappointed, but there's no shame in second place at all in this event. Beating some of the top female competitors out there right now.
Yep, there's Delaney and Claire on top of the wall.
Really nice moment for them there.
Delaney's looking okay. She's raising her arms, but man, I bet you she is bummed. Another second place. Like you said, that's still amazing, but she didn't come here for second place, Brian. She came here for first, and she did not get it. Claire Burfine takes it down in her first Seco comp ever. What an exciting matchup. The ladies are agreeing to throw their chalk bags off the side, and I bet you we're going to see another simul jump 55 feet down into the pool.
This is their last chance.
Oh my God, they're holding hands. This is a bit much. I've just puked in my mouth a little bit, Brian, but it's also pretty sweet. First and second place finishers on top of the wall. They're going to simul jump into the pool. The guys just don't do this, Brian.
Claire is going to be pretty popular in high school when she gets back, when she shows everybody this webcast.
Really nice moment for these 2 young ladies from Texas.
They're asking the crowd for a countdown. Typical. And here they go. They're going to launch. And that's it for our first and second place competitors. Claire Burfine in first place and Delaney Miller in second. What an amazing female team this year.
Yeah, Chris, that was a great round of female competition climbing there. Claire Burfine's going to be our champion. We'll try to talk to her as soon as she can dry off.
She cannot erase the smile from her face even as she's treading water to the side of the pool after a 55-foot leap. Claire is all smiles in the pool.
All right, now Stephen Jeffrey can start stripping this wall. One more misstep, and he's going to be in the principal's office. It's going to be a quick changeover from the women's route to the men's route. They just have to strip off a few holds. Ramp this route up for the men. It's going to be a real treat for the viewers at home, I think, Chris. It's a really exciting climb.
Absolutely, Brian. Right now we're seeing what they started to do before the finals round prematurely. They are changing the route, so it's going to be a little bit harder for the men. They're up there on their lift, changing both routes. Both routes, left and right, are identical. They're making it a little harder for the men, and Claire Burfine is right now making her way up to our booth for an interview. She is soaking wet.
She can sit by you,
She's
Chris.
going to be, thanks, Brian. She's going to be coming up, joining us here. We're going to talk to her a little bit about what just happened. I wonder if she's going to maybe dry off for a second before coming up.
It's not a bad idea.
In any case, that was just an amazing performance by Claire Burfine, who, again, was not originally invited to the competition. She was one of the 4 women who qualified for this. So that was a really big deal. Claire Burfine coming in. Claire, thank you so much for joining us here.
All right, we got Claire Burpine in the booth. Claire, what were you thinking when you got to the top of the wall there?
I was so excited. I couldn't believe it, actually. Oh, it was close.
So this weekend, and correct me if I'm wrong, yesterday was the first time you'd been on the wall?
Yeah, it was. I think it was me, Rita, and Grace, like the only people that hadn't been on it yet.
So now you've been on the wall 6 times, and you made it to the top all 6 times?
All 6, yeah.
That's amazing, Claire.
Thank you.
Before tonight, we would have bet on you. Gotta say,
really?
because you were so fast yesterday, so confident, and as Brian kind of alluded to, it's really impressive that you were so confident, having never climbed on this wall before. How did you feel, say, when you're halfway up the wall and it gets steep, when most competitors show some signs of fear?
Yeah, honestly, I'm not even thinking about the water on the wall. I try my best just to think about the route when I'm up there, so.
Is that some kind of mental thing that you used to from competing over the years, or why do you think you have that? Because Chris and I tried the wall and we could not go to that place.
I mean, competing in youth and competing in adult competitions, you just I always tune out the crowd and kind of tune out everything and just focus on my climbing.
Just focus on climbing,
yeah.
for sure.
Well, you sure do an awesome job with that. I'm super impressed that you weren't even one of the invited women here. You weren't one of the 12 initial people. You had to qualify for this.
I think that might change next year, by the way.
That's exactly right. But it did put you at a disadvantage. For example, you didn't have a chance to climb on the wall, and yet you showed up here and you dominated. There was no hesitation from you.
Thank you.
Super impressive.
Thank you very much. It was really fun.
What was it like when it came down to the Final Four, all Team Texas girls, Texas climbers? What was it like climbing against your friends?
I was so stoked. I mean, all of these ladies are so strong, and I've looked up to all of them for a long time, so it's really cool to compete with all these women.
And now you have something to hold over Alex Puccio for at least the next couple years, I'd say.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see.
That's right. Do you have any other competitions in your near future?
The Youth World Championships in Noumea, New Caledonia are coming up.
There's a lot of water there, but I don't think the wall is going to be over the water. Maybe you can get that changed.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
For speed and sport, I'll be going there. So.
Well, that's great.
It'll be fun. Yeah, I'm excited.
Well, Claire, that was an incredible performance. It was really a treat to watch you climb. I know Chris and I enjoyed it. Everyone at home enjoyed it. We'll let you go get a little warmed up.
Yeah, I get in the hot tub.
Yeah.
That's right. At least tonight it wasn't as cold as last night.
I know. Last night it was so cold. I was all purple and gross.
Yeah.
Everybody was shivering.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll let you get warmed up. Thanks again so much for joining us, Claire.
Thank you very much.
Really, it was a pleasure to watch
Thank you. It's good to see you guys.
Thanks.
And there goes Claire Burpine, dripping wet still from her performance, winning this year's female national title here at Psicobloc.
Having a little halftime here at the venue. Ski jumping demo. That's what this pool is actually built for. Olympic athletes in training to come out here and practice their aerial skills. Gotta say, it looks pretty difficult to swim with skis on compared to climbing shoes.
That's right.
All right, we're going to take a quick break here. We're going to hear from the in-house commentator during this great ski jumping demo. We'll be back in just a little bit.
As these guys make their way up the stairs, you may notice the bubbles that we have here in the pool. That's always the biggest question we get. It serves a couple of purposes. So number one, it breaks the surface tension of the water. As these guys know, falling into this, if your arms are out at all, it slaps and it stings. When we break it up like this, for these guys that are landing on their big skis, it makes the impact a lot less, especially if you're going to take it to your back or stomach or side or face where you don't want to land. It also allows them something to see as they go upside down. So rather than looking at the bottom of the pool, they're giving a nice white surface to take a look at. And obviously the walk up the stairs takes a little bit of time, which we want to get an escalator in there. So the skis that these guys are using too, they're using just normal snow skis, typically a little bit smaller, like I said, due to the impact. If you ski on your normal skis and hit this water, your back and knees are going to be done. We break more skis here in the summer than you do in the winter. It's that impact and bending of the ski. A lot of these guys will fiberglass their skis and make them a little bit stronger. We also put a little bit of wax on the skis so that when they go across that material, it's going to glide smoothly. The material is called, we call it meanies, because when you fall on it, it's really mean to your skin when you land. And I think we're just about ready for Wes, if he's going to slide back out there and do one more jump for us. Wes, are you ready? All right, Wes, let's do it. Bring him down. Nice job, Wes. All right, again, we're going to go back up top to Rachel Schaefer. Rachel, we're ready for you, I think. Well, I don't know, crowd, are you guys ready for her? You guys ready? All right. Nice, Rachel. So I got to ask all you climbers that have climbed so far and jumped into the pool, what do you think? Do we need a heater for next year? Do we need to heat this thing? Dude, I don't get in that water. That thing is freezing. So the other thing that we're doing that we're waiting on is Garai's adding some water to the ramps. Without water and the sprinkler system on those ramps, those bristles get really sticky and the skis don't like to glide. So the water just lubricates it a little bit. So and when you guys come out here to jump too, we provide you with all the equipment. We give you your boots, skis, helmet, wetsuit, life jacket, all that good stuff, and get you going off the ramps. Garai, are you ready, buddy? All right, Garai, what do you got? Little slope style action? Yeah, make some noise. Oh, he'll step up higher if you want. You got to be louder. All right, Garai, send it. Awesome. All right, we've got one more jumper for you guys up there. You guys want to see some big air? You guys want to see some really big air? You guys want to see 3 flips? All right, this is our last jumper. This is Erin Griss. This is a 16-year-old girl that you're about to see show you guys 3 flips. Erin, are you ready? Crowd, are you ready? I'm sorry, what was that, crowd? I can't hear you. There is way more people here. One more time. Awesome job from Erin. So on that note, if you guys would like to see a choreographed show, like a full-on show where we have like 10 jumpers in the air at once, the Flying Ace All-Stars puts on a show every Sunday at 1 p.m. You guys can come out here, buy a $10 ticket, and watch one of the coolest things you've seen besides this. So again, thanks for taking part in one of the biggest events here at the UOP. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the night and ready for some awesome climbing action. JT, are you around? All right, buddy. Thanks again, all.
One more big round of applause for all these skiers here. That's a hell of a show, man. That takes some skills. Want to quickly remind everybody, up in the booth, behind the bronze seating section, this is a perfect time. Sprint up there. Buy a raffle, help support the Kahumbu Climbing Center. You can win a trip, a day of climbing with Sharma, a day with Conrad, or a day with Emily. That is worth it. Trust me. How much would you pay to go climbing with Sharma, Conrad, or Emily? bid a coin. Hustle up there. There's a silent auction, and there's a raffle. Totally worth it. We got a few more minutes before we start, so this is your chance.
Back everybody to the 2014 Clif Bar Psicobloc Masters. I'm Brian Reynolds, poolside here with Chris Widener in Park City, Utah, at the Olympic Training Center. About to get our men's final underway. And take a quick look at the men's bracket here and go through who we're about to see as we have some excitement coming to the top of the wall. Chris, who do we have in the men's bracket?
Well, Brian, we've got Sean McCall is seated as number 1, going against Isaac Caldiero, number 16 from last night. Sean McCall was by far the fastest competitor. He's certainly a favorite. Isaac took a bad fall, actually, during his first run. He only had 1 of 2 runs. So he took a bad fall the first run, broke his eardrum, ruptured his eardrum, falling in like what was almost a full flip into the water. It was very impressive. So Sean McCall versus Isaac, and who knows how Isaac is going to do it this time. He certainly doesn't have the benefit of having been on it more than once.
Yeah, and after that, we got Jimmy Webb, seated in 8th position, our champion from last year. He's facing off against a young gun, Kai Leitner, just 14 years old. That's going to be a great matchup to watch.
That's going to be awesome because Kai Leitner was certainly hesitant but a very strong competitor. After that, we're going to have Chris Sharma, the brainchild behind...
I think I've heard of him.
Yeah, have you heard of him? We interviewed him earlier tonight. Chris Sharma himself, the icon of American sport climbing, against Benjamin Parkin, a dark horse who just qualified a couple days ago for this competition.
After that, we got John Cardwell, qualified in 4th position. He's going to face off against one of our international competitors, Nacho Sanchez from Spain. That'll be a great matchup to watch. John was one of our strong finishers in last year's event, so he knows what it takes to get deep in this event.
And then after that, we're going to have Daniel Woods seated as 3rd from yesterday versus Paul Robinson. We have 2 competitors there, some of the strongest boulders in the world, who both live in Boulder, Colorado, up against each other.
After that, we got Matty Hong, qualified in 6th position, facing off against Josh Larson, one of our open qualifiers from Wednesday night's qualifying at Momentum Mill Creek.
After that, we have another one of our international competitors from Slovenia, Klemen Bachan, very strong climber, V15 climber, versus Noah Ridge, another dark horse American who just qualified a couple days ago.
Yep, no surprise to see Noah make it this far in this event. Really strong results in adult-level national competitions in the last couple of years. And rounding out our men's bracket, we have Carlo Traversi seated in 2nd position, going off against Michael O'Rourke, one of our other open qualifiers. Carlo looks really confident, looks really comfortable on this wall. I think he's going to be definitely one of the people to beat, which no surprise given his second place seating.
Absolutely, Brian. And it's going to be really tough here with the men because, as we talked about earlier, there's just so many guys here who could win this competition. I got to say the favorite's probably Sean McCall just because he has such a history of climbing fast and climbing hard. Sean McCall for sure.
Yeah, Sean's overall experience, he's one of the best well-rounded climbers in the world, speed, lead, and bouldering. So I think especially as the competitors come out, the viewers at home are in for a real treat watching Sean climb. And the rest of the field's no slouch either. It's definitely anybody's game.
That's right, Brian. It really is anybody's game. It could be Sean McCall. It could be Jimmy Webb, our champion from last year. Again, Sean McCall and Isaac Caldiero are going first. Jimmy Webb's going to be next, and after that, who knows? It could be Chris Sharma, it could be D. Woods.
All right, as we get ready for our men's final, we're going to get a little demonstration and alternate method to enter this pool. Two gentlemen at the top of the wall right now. Do not try this at home.
Oh my gosh. We've got some guys doing backflips off the top of the wall. They must be trained because you don't just do that.
Not too shabby.
That was all right.
That was amazing. A full backflip in slow motion, it appeared.
And Chris, this is a great time to remind people about this pool. It is the Olympic training facility here. The pool is only 10 feet deep, normally used for ski jumping, aerial practice.
Local company here in Park City.
Looks like some dude's getting ready to do something rad off the top. We'll see.
Do not try this at home. Remind me not to try this at the after party, Chris.
I don't know what the heck they call that trick, but it was kind of like a roll or something like that.
All right, just a few minutes left before the men's final gets underway. 16 men, 12 men that were on the invite list, invited by event organizer Chris Sharma. 4 open qualifiers that qualified Wednesday night, so they've had to do a little extra climbing to make it this far. That open qualifier was extremely competitive.
There's some sort of handstand competition going on with Cedar Wright, Black Diamond athlete, North Face athlete. Go take him down. CD can't do it very well. You can probably win some good swag.
About half this men's field competed last year, half are brand new to this Psicobloc format.
Thank you for stepping up this
really nothing else like it in the U.S.
The North Face Momentum Climbing Walls. That's the walls that we have here in Salt Lake, the dopest gyms in the nation. We got Walltopia. These are the guys that make the walls. Thank you, Utah Olympic Park. We are not skiers, we are climbers.
Crowd is really starting to fill in here, Chris. The sun just went down. It's gotten quite a bit colder just the last 10 minutes.
That's right, and the moon is shining super bright. You can actually see the man on the moon smiling at us right now, smiling on the 2014 Clif Bar Psicobloc Masters Championship.
Outdoor retailer, Swoon, Infinite Scale, Weld, Call Speed Production, Nathan Beck, and Black Diamond Equipment.
Beautiful night here. Really unbelievable setting.
Yeah, this is an incredible venue for climbing to demonstrate our sport to the world right now live on YouTube. Big thanks to everyone who's tuning in right now. Really appreciate your support. This is why we do this for you guys at home. Want to give you guys the best show possible. Give these people here in Park City the best show possible. And that's just what we have in store with this men's final coming up very shortly. One of these times that I say that, it'll actually be shortly.
Yeah, in any case, though, this crowd, like you said, sure is enjoying this. It's getting crazy here. There's food, there's beer, there's wine, there's people just loving it.
All right, Chris, sounds like we're ready to get this men's final underway. Let's go down to our in-house MC, Jonathan Thiesenga. JT, take it away.
All right, what is up? Let's do this thing. If you're out in the vendor village, get back in here. We're going green right now. Men's competition. You saw the Spaniards and Steven stripping down holds. Why they do that? Because the guys are going to climb a little bit more dynamic. The route is significantly harder. The falls are significantly more gnarly. This is a hell of a show. So, same thing as with the women. It's head-to-head, single elimination, bracket style. If you have a fan favorite, cheer them on now because they could be out before you know it. Please, get up, start clapping, start yelling. Here are 16 of the world's best rock climbers. Let's go, guys. Come on out. We got guys from Slovenia. We've got guys from Spain. We've got guys from Colorado. We got guys from the East. They're from everywhere. These are the top dogs. Just like the women, we had an open qualifier. We got 4 dark horses that just rolled up, entered, and they're in. They're competing against icons of the sport. Please, cheer them on. It's these 16. You're going to see some some action. Let's hear it. Come on, get up. Let's go. All right, you guys go in there, chill out. We're going to start the round right now. First up, Sean McCall, Isaac Caldiero. Isaac here on the right, just like JC Hunter, is from Salt Lake City, is the local boy. We have to cheer him on. He won't be able to hear you. Why is that? Because in qualifiers yesterday, he took the gnarliest digger of anyone, burst his eardrum, okay? He tapped out, got up this morning, talked to a doctor, had it checked out. He's going to be able to compete, but he has to wear this giant orange waxy plug in his ear. Be careful. I told him today, that's his incentive not to fall in the water. Doesn't want to burst that eardrum again. That would suck. Sean McCall, if you've watched any comp recently, you've heard this guy's name. He competes.
All right, after that introduction, Brian Reynolds and Chris Widener here poolside calling the action during the men's final here. And as JT pointed out, Chris, Isaac took one of the nastiest falls yesterday. When he got out of the pool, he could barely stand up. Really surprised to see that he can pull it together and climb tonight.
That's a very good point. Yeah, we have 4 EMTs, 2 lifeguards, and an ambulance here on site for cases like Isaac Caldiero yesterday. He's doing okay, and I'm honestly impressed here because Isaac's sizing up the wall right now. And all right, and here we're going to take a look at what he just did yesterday. Here's Isaac's fall. This was the most spectacular fall of the evening.
He's on the left side there.
Oh my!
Wow, that looks even worse than I remembered it, Chris. He fell right on his back.
Oh, and he's holding his ear right away. Yeah, he just smashed right on his ear. He had trouble with equilibrium. He couldn't compete a second round yesterday, which was a significant disadvantage for him tonight because he only had 1 shot at this wall, whereas he's going up against Sean McCall, who had a couple rounds on this wall. So he knows he's at a disadvantage, but I'm excited to see whether he takes this as a challenge and whether he's more psyched than ever.
Yeah, he's a really game competitor. He's been on American Ninja Warrior. He loves these kind of more unique formats.
Ready, set, go.
There we go. A little head start for Isaac.
And Isaac is trained in speed climbing. He said he was training specifically for this competition, and you can see his enormous orange earplug in his left ear. Sean McCall as well, though, trained in speed and difficulty. Sean McCall is a favorite for tonight. I'd be surprised if Sean lost.
Yeah, this would be a massive upset. Sean lost. He had by far the best time in qualifiers yesterday. Under a minute up this 55-foot wall, and they are neck and neck right now. Coming up on this big dyno.
And that's the move that Isaac hurt himself on yesterday, and he just pulled it off with confidence. I'm really surprised that Isaac is doing so well so far. He's actually ahead of our leader, Sean McCall.
It's an incredible 1 versus 16 matchup right now. This would be a huge upset. Look at the strength of Sean McCall. Just campusing through that move.
This is amazing. Yes, we have our first and our last place. Oh,
there goes Isaac.
Isaac just fell. He did not have any practice on this yesterday. Sean McCall, who was our favorite, is now confidently going toward the top of the wall.
Yep.
He knows he has it in the bag, and he's probably going to let go.
Sean wants to hear it. He knows the drill.
Sean just loving it right now. He's going to be on to the next round, our quarterfinal round.
But wow, that sure was a surprise to see Isaac neck and neck with him 3/4 of the way up the wall. What an amazing effort by Isaac Caldiero. An excellent comeback from his injury yesterday. So significant that he could not compete in the second round.
It sounds like Isaac's doing all right. Talking to JT right now. Never want to see our athletes get hurt out here. The pool definitely adds some excitement and some danger. Always want to see our athletes walk out here without a scratch on them. And see Sean McCall moving on. So we get our next pairing up, our number 8 and our number 9 qualifiers. Jimmy Webb, our champion from 2013. Ready to get back on this wall. Who's going to be on the right side of this wall, Chris?
Kai Leitner is going to be on the right side of the wall, and he's our youngest male competitor at 14 years old. In fact, he only started climbing in 2006, which is just not that long ago, especially to be here on the national stage at the Clif Bar Psicobloc Masters. Jimmy Webb, as Brian pointed out, was our winner from last year, but I'd say both of these guys have a chance. What do you think?
Well, we know that Kai is one of the best young climbers in the country. He climbed a little tentatively yesterday, especially when we get to the section in the middle of the route with the dyno. He did not look real comfortable with this Psicobloc format, but that's what yesterday was for, a little practice, and we'll see how he does tonight.
So yeah, that's right. We're looking at Kai Leitner with a slight disadvantage of just not as much experience on this wall. And yet we're looking at Jimmy Webb with a slight disadvantage of major jet lag, having just come back from a big trip to South Africa to both climb established routes as well as put up new routes in Swaziland. But right now Jimmy is showing his stuff, and he's way ahead now of Kai Leitner, who again is showing some hesitance.
Yeah, something about this big stage really brings out the best in Jimmy Webb. Last year, I think a lot of people were surprised that he won. He's definitely better at shorter climbs, and he just came out and really put on a show last year, and he's doing it again this year.
And Kai Leitner is still hesitating pretty low on the route. Jimmy Webb is not too far from finishing. Basically, Jimmy just needs to finish the route.
Well, given the consequences of a bad fall in this climb, maybe Kai's a smart one.
That's a very good point, Brian. It's pretty scary trying to push yourself, especially climbing fast on these moves. And Jimmy is nearing the top of the wall. Kai's getting psyched for the big move. We'll see if he can pull it off. And he
Nice
does.
job by Kai Leitner. No hesitation there. But Jimmy Webb is going to take this opening round. Going to move on to the quarterfinals.
So Kai Leitner has lost this round, but he's still holding onto the wall. It appears that he's going to still try to keep climbing up. Why not? This is his last time on the stage, his last time on this wall for this year. Why not enjoy the rest of the route? And that's what Kai's doing right now.
Yeah, Kai's a great kid. It's really exciting to see him on this stage. Really well-deserved on his part. Never heard one bad thing about him. It's really great to see him here.
Kai is now just taking his time. He's climbing like he does at the Red River Gorge in Kentucky, where he has climbed as hard as 514C. Extremely difficult. And as JT's saying to the live crowd right now, Kai knows that he is not going to win this, but he's still enjoying his trip to the top.
Kai Leitner is giving the people here their money's worth. Incredible view right now. The full moon right behind him. He reaches that Waltopia logo. Nearly 50 feet off the pool.
Kai is one of the kindest competitors, I got to say. He's just so humble, so kind. He's 14 years old, and he's making his way to the top of the wall. He knows he lost, but for the heart of it, for the love of it, for the inspiration, which is what this competition's all about, he just got to the very top of the wall, and he's going to join Jimmy Webb at the top. We'll see how they both choose to get down.
I think maybe they learned some moves from those guys that just went before. We'll see.
Are they going to hold hands like the ladies did, Brian? What do you think?
I think hold hands and a backflip. Mandatory.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
See what they're going to do here.
Looks like they're trying to coordinate efforts here. They might go for the countdown like every other female did.
Little peer pressure goes a long way when it comes to getting down this wall, and up it for that matter.
That's absolutely right.
There we go. Looks like discretion is going to be the better part of valor for Kai Leitner. Looks like
Kai's climbing off the back, and Jimmy's going for the big plunge. Always exciting.
Lash down for Jimmy Webb. Kai Leitner looks like he wanted to get to the top just so he could stay dry.
Next round, we have Benjamin Parker on the right. Came out of the open qualifier.
Got our first two qualifying pairs done. Jimmy Webb's going to dry off there. Look at that valet service. All right, we're going to go back down to Nina Williams to his poolside with Jimmy Webb. Nina, take it away.
Jimmy, that was an incredible performance. A little bit different from yesterday because you actually made it to the top this time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You look...
I got a bit more warmed up today.
Yeah, I think you went into total beast mode. What do you think?
Yeah, still really pumped. I don't know how many times I can do that. That might be the show for me.
Well, I can tell that shaving of the beard did nothing to your strength, so hopefully we'll see you on the podium this year.
I'll bring it back.
For sure. Good job. Nice one.
All right, thanks, Nina, for that. Chris, who do we have on the wall right now?
Looks like we have Benjamin Parkin on the right, who is one of our dark horse qualifiers. And then on the left is Chris Sharma himself, the brainchild behind this competition and certainly a favorite to win this whole thing. He is, always putting on an impressive show. Since he was a teenager, he has been at the head of American climbing, and here he goes up the wall.
Yeah, Ben Parkin's really up against it here, up against one of the premier Psicobloc climbers in the world. Ben's just 24 years old. Chris in his mid-30s almost, one of the oldest competitors in this competition, but still holding it down for the old guys as Ben Parkin goes for a ride.
Ben Parkin just took a nice kind of cartwheeling, windmilling fall into the water. Meanwhile, Sharma pressure's off. He's going to take his time and get to the top. No doubt he's going to have a confident jump from the summit. He's very used to this, having climbed a 515A deep water solo in Spain about 10 years ago. He's used to this style. He's won European Psicobloc comps, and there he is at the top of the wall. Not a surprise, Brian.
Yeah, Chris Sharma last year topped out in his first time up the wall in finals as well, but he missed the dyno that was there last year and kind of surprisingly bowed out earlier than people thought, so we'll see how he does this year. He looks good so far. Going to put on a show for the people here in Park City.
He sure does, and there he goes. No problem jumping off this wall.
That is so far.
Always fun to watch, though.
Benjamin, awesome job up there, man. Did you have any idea when you entered the open qualifier that you would end up being Psicobloc in front of all of these people at night against Chris Sharma?
Yeah, it's just a blessing just to be here and compete against these guys.
Going to get our next pairing up on the wall here as Chris Sharma comes to the side of the pool. Going to have him talk to Nina in just a second here. Going to let him get a towel off first. It's getting chilly.
That was an awesome performance by Chris Sharma. Again, no surprise at all.
All right, let's go down to Nina.
Chris, I can tell there's no hesitation in your climbing movement or you jumping off the wall. You're completely fearless, but that's understandable because you're the founder of this competition. So how badly do you want to win it?
Oh, I would love to, but I'm aware that the other guys are really good and really fast. So I'm just going to do my best and see what happens.
Awesome. That's such a great attitude. Well, good luck to you out there.
All right, thanks, Nina, for that. And see how Chris can hold it down for the old guys here as the rounds progress. Got our next competitors out on the wall right now as our round of 16 moves along here in the men's final. Got John Cardwell on the left against Nacho Sanchez. John's first qualifier yesterday was not so good, but he did top out in his second run on the wall, put him in fourth position. And Chris, what do we know about Nacho Sanchez?
You know, Brian, all I know about Nacho Sanchez is he is extremely strong. He's a Spaniard who climbs super, super hard. He's 30 years old, but he is rumored to be a little afraid of heights. Now, I'm not sure if that's the case because yesterday he sure put on a strong showing, but John Cardwell sure is not afraid of heights, and he just demonstrated that with his all points off dyno. Let's see how Nacho does on that same move, and he takes the big whip, almost belly flopping into the water.
Nacho Sanchez
is eliminated.
Flops harder than a World Cup soccer player. That looked like it hurt.
And Cardwell is hanging from one arm, confident, and just dropping off to save energy for the next round. That was fast, Brian. What do you say?
Yeah, this men's route, they've removed quite a few of the holds. There's no choice for them but to go faster. There's no time to hang out in any of these holds. And just like that, John Cardwell is on into the quarterfinals.
It's amazing how fast these guys can be eliminated. They both climb so quickly. Nacho certainly has the skills, but again, John Cardwell competed last year and has the experience.
All right, we're moving along in our round of 16 here at the 2014 Clif Bar Psicobloc Masters. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the 2014 Clif Bar Psicobloc Masters. I'm Brian Reynolds with Chris Widener, poolside in Park City, Utah. We have live coverage of our final round of the men's competition. We have a really exciting pairing coming up right now. Got Paul Robinson there stepping onto the right side of the wall. He was our number 14 qualifier, facing off against longtime friend Daniel Woods, who was our third place qualifier yesterday.
That's right. Daniel Woods also got second place in the last year Psicobloc comp. And here goes P. Rob and D. Woods. Paul Robinson, by the way, we share the same birthday. Paul is 26 years old. You really can't tell that I'm any older than he is, by the way.
Not at all.
Paul Robinson is definitely afraid of this wall. He has no problem admitting that. He is confident in the first half, like he's showing right now. He's even ahead of D. Woods, but we're about to see Paul Robinson freak out. I'm just going to say it.
Yeah, a lot of people were surprised to see this pairing this early, but Paul struggled on this dyno. He did not stick it either time yesterday. Let's see how he does tonight. And he sticks it.
And Paul Robinson, he sticks it. And you know what? He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to keep going because he is scared of this wall, but he's forcing himself through the mental battle. Look at this. He must be focusing on the wall.
Look at how Daniel just turned on the afterburners there, though, after Paul stuck that dyno. He's pulled into the lead. Paul is in uncharted territory. He has not been to this part of the wall yet.
Whereas D. Woods had this. And Paul, let's go.
There goes Paul Robinson. That was a really nice performance by him, though.
He really pushed through some mental barriers. It was clear that he let go, not because he couldn't climb, but because he was afraid. But he did go a lot further than we expected, and D. Woods, as expected, gets to the summit of the wall.
Our second place finisher from 2013. Going to be through to our quarterfinals.
So far, Brian, I got to say, this is a predictable outcome for all of these pairings so far.
Yep, things are going chalk so far, and that's not surprising given the caliber of the top half of the men's field.
That's right. And if all goes as we expect in the next round, we have Matty Hong, third place finisher from last year, versus Josh Larson, a dark horse who just qualified a couple days ago. And again, if things go as planned, I think Matty's going to be in the lead.
Yeah, Matty, quietly one of the strongest route climbers in America. Just put up another hard route in rifle last weekend.
That's right. He's repeated up to 14D in rifle, and he did just put up a route that's rated 14C or D last week in rifle. That's Rifle, Colorado.
Good job, man. That was a hell of an effort. Paul Robinson, everybody. All right.
Great to see Paul Robinson out here this year, his first year at Psicobloc Masters. See how he feels about getting invited next year. So we can see Josh Larson there getting ready to crawl out.
That's
on
right.
The red route on this men's final.
Matty Hong is well versed in bouldering, climbing up to V15, and sport climbing as well, climbing up to 14D. He's also a very competitive climber. He has the genes for it. His dad is Steve Hong, one of America's best climbers overall over the last 30 years. Here they go.
Matty's mom, Karen, is an excellent climber as well.
That's absolutely right.
Great household for rock climbing. Matty wasting no time. He's neck and neck with Josh Larson here. Josh won the 2012 SBC Pro Bouldering Competition.
Brian, other than that, I really can't say what to expect from Josh Larson because I've never heard of the guy until we saw him competing on this yesterday.
Yeah, don't sleep on Josh Larson. He's definitely an aggressive climber. As we're seeing, he's not hesitating at all. And these moves are not easy, folks.
And he's really giving Matty a run for his money because Matty just suddenly turned it on. He knows he has to climb fast in order to get this because either competitor could make it to the top of the wall. It's going to come down to speed, Brian.
Yeah, they're move for move right now. Matty just a half move ahead, pulling 50 feet off the ground on this Walltopia wall.
They just can't be thinking about the fall right now. They've got to be just focused on the climbing. And there goes Josh Larson in a surprise fall all the way to the bottom.
Takes a wild fall.
Matty is excited on top of the wall, pumping his fist.
He's psyched.
Again, not a surprise, but wow, Josh Larson sure put up a big fight on that one. That was awesome to watch.
It's like Matty's going to take the easy way down. Take a quick look at Josh Larson's attempt here. Really great to see him here this weekend.
They're neck and neck. And let's just see how Josh falls here.
You can see Josh just run out of gas on this move. You can see right here, he just purchased that left foot, and he just doesn't have quite the juice to grab that hold, and that's it.
And he pushed off in a slightly controlled fall, but barely.
Yeah, all these competitors need to be thinking in the back of their mind at any point if they fall, how are they going to orient themselves and control themselves to fall in this pool? It's a long way down, and as we saw with Isaac, you don't want to take a bad fall.
What an awesome competition. That was a great matchup from our 6th place and 11th place finishers from yesterday.
Moving right along in our men's final here. Next pair of qualifiers on the wall. On the left, we have Klemen Bechin from Slovenia facing off against Noah Ridge out of Minnesota. Noah's quietly one of the best route climbers in the country. Finished 2nd and 3rd in the last 2 years in lead climbing nationals.
Meanwhile, Brian, Klemen Bechin, I got to just make it ignorance why I hadn't heard of him. He's well known in Europe, but in America, I had never heard of Klemen Bechin, who, when we asked how to pronounce his last name yesterday, he said, "Oh, pronounced like Bitchin, only Bechin." And there he goes on the double dyno, very confident, very tall, very accomplished. Klemen has taken it down so far.
Oh, Noah Ridge sticks it one-handed. No big deal for Noah Ridge.
Come on, Noah. Show us what you got. Come on.
Klemen is 32 years old, one of our oldest competitors.
He's won lead World Cups on the European circuit. Going to be great to see. It's really great to see these international competitors come to this event, get a feel for their climbing style. Klemen Bechin looks like he's going to edge out Noah Ridge here.
And there he goes to the top of the wall. Klemen Bechin made it happen. His nickname is the Slab Master because he has climbed some very, very difficult low-angled walls in Europe, and he confidently took it to the top of the wall. That was a no-brainer. He won. Noah Ridge is out. Not a surprise, but a great performance from both Klemen and Noah.
And Chris, we're seeing in these first few qualifying runs that the men's route is pretty doable. A lot of the men have made it to the top, so speed is going to be the main factor as we move along through the night here.
That's absolutely right. It's easy to mistake this for a difficulty competition, but truly, as you said, Brian, this really comes down to speed and mental control because it's terrifying being up on this wall.
Dude. Not cool, Klemen.
Holy moly. Klemen just took a giant leap from the summit.
All right, next up on the left, Carlo Traversi. On the right.
Moving right along to our last pairing in the round of 16 for the men here. Got Carlo Traversi stepping onto the blue side of the wall on the left side. On the right side, we got Michael O'Rourke, our 15th place qualifier from yesterday.
Now Michael is the last of our open qualifiers.
Carlo Traversi made it to last year's quarterfinals in the Seco Comp. He lost to John Cardwell. He is very strong. He was second in last night's competition.
All right, Chris, let's go down to Nina, who's with Klemen.
Well, dare I say, Klemen, that was a Bechin performance. So what brought you all the way to compete at Psicobloc?
It's this awesome wall. I saw it last year, how it looked, and I really wanted to be here because I knew I will like it, and I actually do. Super cool.
Awesome. Do you feel any fear at all when you're on the wall?
When I'm climbing, it's no problem because I just focus on the next move and just want to go as fast as possible, and I want to win. But there's a little bit scary in the top for jumping down because I had time to watch down and it got even scarier.
Yeah, it's such a supreme level of focus you have there. Good luck in the next round.
All right, thanks to Nina for that interview with Klemen. We see Michael trying to exercise some of that power he's known for, but not enough. Carlo Traversi is going to move on.
And Carlo deliberately dropped off before topping out the wall because he wanted to save energy. Carlo Traversi just won that round. Michael O'Rourke was out.
All right, Chris, that's going to wrap up the first round of our men's final tonight here at the 2014 Clif Bar Psicobloc Masters. We're going to take another quick break. Do not go anywhere.
Up there, is that way it fell, or were you feeling rushed?
Welcome back to the 2014 Clif Bar Psicobloc Masters. I'm Brian Reynolds here with Chris Widener, poolside in beautiful Park City, Utah. We're moving on to the quarterfinal round in our men's final.
We've
Really
got
a premier matchup coming up here, Chris.
That's right, Brian. We've got Sean McCall versus Jimmy Webb. Jimmy Webb was our last year champion. Sean McCall is certainly a favorite of this year, climbing the wall faster than anyone else. And as we just saw in the last round, it doesn't come down to the difficulty really for these men because they all know now that they can climb this wall.
Yeah,
they just need to climb it fast.
This could easily be our final right here, and it's happening in the quarterfinals, just the way it goes. That's why the seeding round last night was so important. To get that high seeding. A little bit of bad luck for Sean McCall, actually, that Jimmy Webb was the 8th seed.
That's absolutely right. Yeah, this is a hot competition right now. These guys both could win it. Sean is a speed climber. He has won competitions in speed climbing. This is an awesome, exciting round. These guys are neck and neck. Oh my God, Jimmy is really trying to put it on. They are climbing sloppy.
They're just flying up this wall, reckless abandon. No
they don't
care.
need to be precise. They just want to get to the top of this wall as fast as they can. It is truly a race. I've never seen a race like it before in climbing.
This is an incredible quarterfinal matchup. Sean McCall, Jimmy Webb. Who is it going to be? It's going to be Sean McCall.
Makes it to the top of the wall. The crowd is just going nuts.
I don't think he put his feet on the wall at all in the last 20 feet. That was incredible. 42-second run by Sean McCall. Unreal.
Nobody has ever climbed this Psicocomp wall that fast. That was unbelievable. We just saw what could have been the finals round.
That was an amazing show by both competitors, really pushing each other.
That was just an unbelievable comp. Out of breath, Jimmy Webb and Sean McCall on top of the wall getting ready to jump back into the pool here. That was unbelievable.
That one did not disappoint. Please give it up for Jimmy Webb. Come up, he's going home.
Here's the instant replay, folks, of Sean McCall versus Jimmy Webb. This was just the fastest climbing I've ever seen in a difficulty competition. And like we've talked about, this really comes down to speed, doesn't it, Brian?
Yeah, you're going to see the climbers really put it in overdrive here. Right when they get to this middle section, they both see each other going crazy fast. They start abandoning feet, losing all technique. You see Sean on the left just pulling through these moves with raw power.
That's right. This is no longer about precision and strength. This is about speed and reckless abandon, like you mentioned, Brian. These guys are just going ape nuts over this wall, and Sean McCall just barely eked out Jimmy Webb for the win.
That was unbelievable. 42-second run by Sean McCall. Any other day, Jimmy Webb's time would have been really better than anybody out there. But Sean McCall, we've seen he's all around one of the better climbers in the world, and he's shown that he can adapt to this route, and he's really figured it out, it looks like.
Wow, well, so far we've seen both of our last year's championships gone. The ladies, Sasha and Julian was out, and now Jimmy was out. Next up, we have Chris Sharma versus John Cardwell. Another big competition here. A big difference in height between these guys.
Just coming fast and furious in the men's bracket. There are no gimmies at all.
Both of these guys know they can top out this wall, so it's really going to come down to speed again. John Cardwell being the shorter athlete. Chris Sharma is 6 feet tall, and John is only about 5'8".
But you can see they call John Cardwell the Machine back in Boulder, Colorado. One of the route setters at Movement. You can just see he's flying up this wall. So strong.
These guys are just going nuts. This is an amazing competition. John Cardwell ahead of Chris Sharma. Unbelievable.
But Chris pouring it on. They are neck and neck right now as they pull onto this head wall 50 feet off the deck.
They're both losing steam a little bit.
Yeah, they're both losing a little steam. Crowd is going nuts. Chris Sharma pulling ahead. And Chris Sharma's going to...
Oh! Chris Sharma just by a split second makes it to the top of the wall faster than John Cardwell. Wow.
Another unbelievable battle for the men here in the quarterfinal round. This is just the quarterfinals, Chris. That was incredible.
Hard to believe.
Chris Sharma going to be moving on.
You know, it's really interesting how Interesting how this is coming down to speed for the men completely, whereas for the women there was still some difficulty involved.
Yeah,
what an awesome show.
Chris, let's take another look at the top half of this quarterfinal battle between Chris Sharma and John Cardwell. Seeing a really interesting set of styles here. Climbers just throwing it all to the wind.
And look at that. There are only 2 moves from the top end. Oh, just barely. That was less than 1 second that Sharma beat Cardwell. Amazing, amazing competition here tonight in Park City, Utah.
Moving on to the bottom half of our quarterfinal bracket right now. Going to see Daniel Woods and Matty Hong. 2 guys that are no stranger to each other. Climb together often back in Boulder, Colorado.
That's right. If you look at a resume of Daniel Woods and Matty Hong, especially a route climbing resume, they both have a very similar one for hard routes around Boulder, Colorado. Daniel Woods certainly the stronger boulderer, but not by much, because Matty has also climbed V15, some of the hardest climbs in the world. They are off and climbing super fast.
This men's final is wasting no time. This route climbs so quickly. Such a dynamic style here. Cover a lot of ground with each move. Oh, Matty Hong.
Matty Hong made a surprising error. That was a fall just by error.
Matty Hong punts that move. He is not going to be happy.
And D Woods now winning, and he knows it, and I'm not going to be surprised. There he goes. He's going to jump off, because that was just not surprising.
It's actually a really good break for Danny Woods. He's going to save energy now compared to the rest of his competitors. Only going to have to climb up halfway and save some energy. He's moving on to semifinals. Got one more set of quarterfinal matchups left here on the men. As we get ready for that, we got Delaney Miller joining us in the booth. Our second place finisher for the women. Delaney, how was it out there?
It was so much fun. I love coming to this comp every year, and I'm already looking forward to next year.
Delaney, how do you feel about getting second place again? I got to say, you climbed so well, so confident. You pushed yourself in the speed, I could tell. How do you feel about the results?
You know what? I gave it my all. I gave my best. So even though I did get second again, I can't really complain.
And what is it about Claire that makes her so good? She just doesn't seem like anybody could keep pace with her this weekend.
Claire is an incredible athlete. She's always been very fast and she's very dynamic on the wall, which suited her for this competition in particular because the route was very dynamic.
Yeah, and you're more of a deliberate climber, where some of the other women were going faster. Did you feel pressure to climb faster, or obviously what you did worked, but did you feel like you needed to go any faster than you were?
You know, I just tried not to worry about it because I think that's where you start to mess up. So I just focused on myself and being precise with my movement.
Delaney, I've seen you climbing in movement in Boulder because I climb there as well, and I just got to say, you seem determined, you seem passionate. You're not easy on yourself when you don't perform like you want to. Did you perform like you wanted to tonight?
Maybe not the result, but like I said, I gave it my all, so I really can't complain, and I'm excited for next year. Maybe next year will be my year, but I love Claire. She's my teammate, and I'm so very happy for her.
Yeah, it was a really great result. What do you make of this men's field? Have you been watching?
I've been watching a bit, but I've also been running around. So, I know that the men are really strong, but I have no guesses for who is going to come out on top.
Okay, great. Well, Delaney, congratulations on another second place finish. It's a really great result for you. We had a really great time watching, and best luck to you in the future.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Delaney.
Ready to keep our men's final moving here. Just trying to dry off some of those start holds. Do not want to start climbing with wet shoes. Climbers start just inches above this pool. Clement Betchen against Carlo Traversi. Carlo looked supremely confident yesterday on this wall. He said he was really comfortable climbing over this pool. The height was not bothering him. And Clement, as he said to Nina, saw this event last year, watched it, and decided he had to be here, and now he is in our quarterfinal.
Wow. What a great show. These guys' feet flying in the air. What an awesome exhibition for climbing as the spectators are roaring every time these guys make such a big dynamic move. These guys are racing up the wall, as we've seen so far in the men's field. Clement hesitating for a second. That he just lost some time there.
Yeah,
what do you think?
Open the door for Carlo here. He's 2 moves left for Carlo. Carlo gives a look at Clement, and Carlo's going to take it. Snakes it from Clement.
Oh my gosh, what another super close finish for the men. Carlo barely grabbing the top before Clement Bechin.
Well, now we know why the route setters were so excited to get this men's route underway. Great quarterfinal round there for the men. We'll be back in just a second with the semifinals. You've been watching the 2014 Clif Bar Psicobloc Masters. We'll be right back.
Everybody needs beauty, as well as bread. Places to play in and pray in, where nature may heal and give strength to body and soul. The mountains are calling, and I must go.
Welcome back to the 2014 Clif Bar Psicobloc Masters. Brian Reynolds here, alongside with Chris Weiner, bringing you all the exciting action from this men's final. And Chris, the action has gotten pretty intense, and that was only the first 2 rounds. We have the semifinals and finals still to come. Can these climbers go even faster than they have so far?
That's a great question, Brian. Wow, I can't believe what I've seen so far tonight. These guys are racing up the wall as if it's a racetrack. The difficulty is clearly no longer an objective. It is simply coming down to speed for these guys.
Yeah, after the qualifiers last night, I didn't think anybody could go faster than Sean McCall's 59 seconds, and his last run was 17 seconds faster.
Yeah, this next one is going to be awesome, as could have been in the last round. Sean and Chris. That's Sean McCall, by the way, versus Chris Sharma himself. This could easily be the finals round. Chris Sharma has 6 inches on Sean McCall. That could be a factor in this. It probably won't be because they're both so experienced and so talented, but it's a big deal. There's a lot of big moves.
You can see on Sean's quarterfinal run that he's so strong and he has such coordination with his body that he can just pull himself up the wall without even using his feet. And it's hard to overstate how difficult that is. It's 50 feet off the ground and he's just flying up the wall.
Yeah, it's really unbelievable. Sean McCall is 26 years old, Chris Sharma 33, and Sharma, again, his name is on the wall actually right now. You can see his name plastered on there on the white poster. He is the brainchild behind this competition. He has done some of the hardest Psicobloc climbs in the world, and he's also won some of the European Psicobloc competitions.
Yeah, he just won the event over in Spain a few weeks ago, the Red Bull Creepers.
That's right, and let's remind the audience, Brian, that this is the only Psicobloc competition in America. And Psicobloc in English is translated as deep water soloing, where it's basically climbing without a rope, which is soloing, but it's so high off the deck that it's psycho, like they say in Europe. So this is psycho bouldering above the Olympic pool here in Park City, Utah. We're about to have an amazing matchup between Sean McCall and Chris Sharma himself.
And Chris, as we watch these competitors fly up the wall, that middle section where they're going for that dyno, you and I were both on the wall earlier today, and it's really hard to overstate for the folks at home or people that have not been on this wall how scary it gets really quickly. As soon as you get on the wall, you already feel like you're high up, and you get maybe 10, 15 feet up, and the water looks a long way away.
That's absolutely right, Brian. You can almost feel the water. You can almost feel the gravity of the water pulling at your heels. At least that's how I felt as I looked up. And as soon as you have to make any move that you're not 100% certain of, it's just crazy. It just feels immediately like suddenly this fear right in your heart.
And that dyno comes right at the point of the wall where it actually gets the most scary, the most uncertain that if you're going to come off, how are you going to orientate your body, how are you going to prepare to fall in the water if you do? But so far, for most of the men, it hasn't been an issue, which is great to see.
That's absolutely right, Brian. As we've seen, these guys all know that they can get to the top of the wall. This is no longer a difficulty competition. This is now a speed climbing competition on a difficult wall.
Yeah, and that's where Sean McCall's experience on the World Cup circuit. He's won overall gold at World Championships over the years. He just took second at the IMSA World Cup last weekend. That was lead climbing over in Austria. So he's just back from Europe and showing no ill effects from any travel or anything like that.
That's right, Brian. I just talked to Mike Doyle last night, who used to coach Sean McCall, actually. And Mike Doyle said basically Sean should win this competition.
It looks like we're ready to get back underway here. Got Sean McCall and Chris Sharma off like a bang.
Here they go, neck and neck, neck and neck.
Sharma pointed to Sean McCall as one of the people who might win this comp. Sean McCall knows Chris Sharma's reputation, as does every climber in the world. We're looking at these two guys climbing together right now, and so far Sean is a little bit ahead of Chris.
Yeah, Chris is really going to have to pick up the pacer, because we saw in Sean's run against Jimmy that he can fly through this section here. Just look at this, not even bothering to put his feet on. He is about a half move ahead of Chris. He's going to come down to the head wall.
Oh my God, they are
Waltopia
less than
head wall.
half a second away from each other.
Sean McCall about 2 moves ahead right now. Chris going to have to pour it on, and that's going to be it for Chris Sharma.
Chris Sharma himself fell off the wall. That was surprising. He was rushing it. He had to rush it, but he couldn't stick it. When he rushed it, Sean McCall made it to the top of the wall, and Sean is the winner of that round.
See Sean ratchet up the pressure here as we take a look at the replay. Chris knew that he was running out of time to make up ground on Sean. Right here, they're just about neck and neck, but Sean moves so fluidly through this section, you see, just not wasting any energy. Chris knew there that it was going to be game over if he didn't fly up that section.
That's absolutely right. You know what this reminds me of, Brian, is speed chess. The faster they go, the sloppier the moves become. And that's exactly what just happened to Chris Sharma.
And you can see it is a controlled chaos with Sean McCall there, able to keep himself really coordinated. Sean steps out of the pool. Going to let him get set there just a second.
What an amazing competition between Canadian Sean McCall and Chris Sharma. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
All right, let's go down to Nina, who's with Sean McCall.
Sean, that was incredible. So as the speed record holder of 42 seconds, what kind of pressure did you feel like under climbing against Chris Sharma?
I mean, it's got to be said, but Chris Sharma is like one of my idols. I grew up, I wanted posters from him, so to be competing against him is something like I dreamed of. And he's a great competitor. He kept me on my toes, and at the end it was really close, and I guess I beat him by just one move.
So as one of your idols, I'll ask you, how does it feel to beat Chris Sharma?
I can't even put it into words. I mean, I'm going to ride over, shake his hand, and huge smile on my face.
Awesome. That's some great sportsmanship right there. Nice job, Sean. Hopefully we'll see you on the podium. Back to you, Brian.
All right, thanks, Nina. And as Sean pointed out, Chris Sharma has been at the top of the climbing game for almost 15 years now, even longer. And a lot of these competitors grew up watching his videos, learning from him, and really aspiring to be like him. And now they're here competing on the same stage with him. It's got to be really cool for them.
That's absolutely right, Brian. We're about to see Daniel Woods versus Carlo Traversi. And Daniel started climbing when he was only 5 years old. He's now 25 years old. So certainly when Daniel Woods was 5, Chris Sharma was the American climber in bouldering, in sport climbing, in competitions to be looking up to. And now Daniel is already ahead of that.
Keep in mind, folks, Daniel Woods' last run, he only had to go about halfway up after Matty Hong botched one of the earlier moves, so Daniel got a little bit of a break that time. Carlo had to go to the top of the wall on his last run to move on to the semifinal round. This is for the spot in finals. Face off with Sean McCall. Who's it going to be? Daniel Woods or Carlo Traversi. These guys are no strangers to competing against each other.
That's right.
They both want it really bad.
That's absolutely right, and it's worth repeating that Daniel Woods was our second place finisher in Psicocomp last year. You know that he wants to be first. When we interviewed him earlier, he was pointing out that anybody could win, but you know that he wants it tonight.
Carlos looked smooth and fast all weekend. During qualifiers, he took second position.
There's no time for these guys to even question what they're doing up there. They can only focus on the next hold and not worry about the fall that's coming up. They are both approaching the final head wall, neck and neck.
They're neck and neck once again on autopilot, just executing these moves. Neck and neck. Daniel Woods and Carlo Traversi. Woods just ahead. One more move. Daniel Woods.
Daniel Woods barely pulls ahead of Carlo to make it to the summit of the wall. They both climb perfectly, but Daniel was just a half a second faster than Carlo Traversi.
Wow. Half a hand ahead.
Unbelievable again. All of these guys are just putting in a blazing performance.
What an unbelievable final we're in for. Let's take another look at this battle between Daniel Woods and Carlo Traversi. Chris, this is just incredible move for move climbing.
Unbelievable. All of these guys are climbing this wall in under 50 seconds. That's 50 seconds. Really hard to believe. Holy crap.
Wow. I don't know if I can take another round like that, but I'm ready. I hope everyone home is ready. It's going to wrap up the semifinals. Coming back with our final round of the 2014 Clif Bar Psicobloc Masters. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back.
I'm Gary Erickson, founder of Clif Bar and Company. I don't think Clif Bar would have existed without long days on a rock face climbing.
Clif Bar was created by a climber nearly 25 years ago, by somebody who's actually doing it. It's been a part of the sport for a long time, and continues to feed our adventures up there.
Welcome back to the 2014 Clif Bar Psicobloc Masters. Brian Reynolds and Chris Widener here live in Park City, Utah. So we see the competitors chilling out in the hot tub, the best seat in the house. As our finalists are going to take a little bit of a break to recharge their batteries. And Chris, this Park City, Utah Olympic Training Center is at max capacity right now. Everybody on pins and needles waiting for this men's final is going to be insane.
That's right, it sure is. And like you said, Brian, all the guys are just chilling like villains in the hot tub. We are about to watch Sean McCall versus Daniel Woods. Sean is, I don't know. I mean, it's going to be a tough call. I think Sean is a little faster. He has been. He's been training for this kind of competition and performing in this kind of speed competition lately. Daniel, on the other hand, what do you think?
Well, yeah, Daniel just got back from the summer spent bouldering in South Africa, so it's actually great that he's made it this far. He hasn't been training like Sean has. Sean has been training for the European World Cup circuit. Just finished second, like we said earlier, at the IMPS World Cup. So Sean really in peak form right now, and Daniel going to give him a run for his money, it looks like.
That's absolutely right, and it is worth mentioning that Daniel, even though he may not be in what we call peak condition, his off the couch is basically more than almost anybody else's peak. So it really could go either way tonight.
And just like the women's final, the number one qualifiers through, which is not surprising. We'll see if the lower ranked competitor can upset the number one qualifier, Sean McCall. Didn't happen for the women. Claire Burfine was our winner earlier. Anybody watching home, you can go back, rewind your player, catch the entire broadcast if you missed any part of it. Check out the highlights, relive the great moments.
That's right. And Brian, I'm just going to throw this out there. If I had to bet money on this, I'd put money on Sean McCall. He was definitely faster. And Daniel, I don't know. Daniel is an awesome, solid climber, but even he admits that he is just not quite as fast as some of the other competitors. I'd put money on Sean, but like I said earlier, it really could go either way. Who would you put money on, Brian?
I think Sean's definitely the favorite at this point. He's really shown that he has superior fitness, and he's shown that he has the skill set that it takes to excel at this comp. His first run yesterday, he was feeling out the moves, learning the climb, not trying to go that fast. In his second run, he just blew the doors off the place, and he was skipping moves, and he had things really dialed in, and that's what you learn when you have been competing as long as Sean has. But Daniel, on the other hand, he's 8-time reigning ABS national champion in bouldering, and that shows that he's able to bring his A game when it counts. He's not afraid of the the pressure-packed moments. And he had, at least at ABS, he hasn't made a mistake in 8 years. He's been the best boulder in the country for 8 years running. So I think he has a really good chance.
That's absolutely right, Brian. Both of these competitors, Sean McCall, Daniel Woods, they are both very, very consistent climbers. You can rely on them both to perform and bring their best game to this wall. It's just going to really come down to who's fastest, because both of them know that they can easily climb this wall. The difficulty is not really an issue for them. It's only going to become an issue if they speed it up so fast that they start to make a mistake. So what we're really looking for tonight, Brian, is kind of making that perfect balance between speed and caution, because they don't want to make a mistake.
Yeah, anything can happen. We saw Matty Hong fall on a move that we know that he can do earlier. And as, like you said, as the pressure ramps up, this is the final round. There's nothing left after this. They have to leave everything on the wall. It'd be so easy to make a mistake. One slip, one foot slip, one lapse in concentration, and they're going to be sulking at the bottom of the pool as the other competitor takes the title. 2014 Clif Bar Psicobloc Masters.
So we've got it between a Canadian and American. Both of them are North American champs. We're just going to have to see who can take it down tonight, because it's really anybody's game.
And Chris, I think we need to get this comp finished before this crowd gets too out of control. Packed everywhere at this Park City Training Center. Some people appear to have been overserved.
That's absolutely right, including my wife here and her friends in the background. They're doing some kind of crazy dance moves. They're trying to tempt us into joining them, but we're going to have to wait for the final show
They don't know
before we can go party with those guys. I don't know about this. So right now we're just still waiting for the men to enjoy their little hot tubbing.
Yeah,
and
one of the things we learned last year, as we see people enjoying the party here, is that to make it fair, we got to give the competitors a little bit of a break before finals. Try and even things out. See Jonathan Siegrist bringing some of that European flair back from his trip to overseas. Be great to see him compete in this one of these years. Get him to lift his competition ban.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see Jonathan Siegrist on this wall. He's just not into the competition scene, even though you know he could win it.
A lot of people in the chat room asking about him before. Alex Honnold was another fan favorite that people were looking for. As we bide our time here.
You know, I'm glad you mentioned Jonathan Siegrist, Brian, because right now we're going to bring him in here. And Jonathan, thanks for coming and joining us. We've had a lot of people online asking why you are not in this competition, because you obviously are strong enough
Oh, this
to
seat is
compete in
wet.
this field.
Now my butt's wet. I'm sorry.
Why are you not in this competition, Jonathan?
The short answer is comps just really aren't my thing. Should I look that way?
Yeah.
Hi everybody.
You're on the internet.
How you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, good to see you. This is a good friend of mine here. The short answer, comps really aren't my thing. I've never competed, and the field is full of strong competitors, and it's just a different mentality that I haven't really ever worked on, or for that matter, excelled at. So
after watching these competitors climb, how do you think you would do out there? Would the deep water soloing suit you think?
I have done some deep water soloing in the past. I really enjoy it. The comp style is really unique and very, very dynamic, and
Yeah.
that's something that I certainly don't do. I don't do exceptionally well at. But it's something that it interests me, and Mike Beck's one of the coordinators, and I've talked with him in length about maybe potentially trying next year. So I don't know. I'll see what kind of mood I'm in and
What kind of mood you're in. Jonathan, it doesn't matter what kind of mood you're in, because I've just recently trained with you in the gym a couple times, and you're certainly one of America's, really the world's strongest climbers, having just set your first 5:15.
Thanks, Chris.
The only thing standing between a championship here at Psicocomp and you just sitting here dancing in the audience is your willingness
which is more fun, by the way.
is your willingness to participate in the event. I
Yeah.
hope that in the future we can wrangle you out here. But you know what? It does seem like you're having a good time either way.
I am. No, this is a great event. I mean, I'm sure everyone watching at home is enjoying it too. And I was here last year, had a great time, and again this year I'm having a fantastic time. So,
Well, we'll let you get back to the party.
yeah, no sweat.
Save some dance moves for us. We'll be out there.
For sure. I'll save a lot for this guy.
Yeah, baby. Final burning question. What are you going to do about your faux hawk up here?
I don't know. What am I going to do about it?
Well, yeah, what's the future of your hair right now?
Well, I style my own hair. I live mostly on the road, so I cut my own hair, and the future of it is more of the same, I guess. I don't know.
All right.
Hopefully looking as bad as I possibly can.
All right, good luck with that.
You always look good to
Thanks,
me, J
guys.
Star. Thanks for
Jonathan.
joining us. Really
Yeah,
appreciate
thanks,
it.
guys.
Easy, man.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, take care. Yeah, dude, have a good night, man. Good to see you guys all.
All right, thanks for Jonathan Seegers extracting himself from the party there for just a second as we await this final round. Daniel Woods is ready.
That was really fun for me talking to J Star, Jonathan Segrist, because he's always been a close friend of mine, and he is certainly one of America's strongest climbers, but he does shy away from the competition scene. And it's just worth pointing out that all of the competitors here really have to kind of make that decision to embrace competition, and some of the best climbers just simply don't do that. It's not their thing. And so really that's one more thing going for all of these competitors tonight is they've chosen not only to climb hard and to train hard, but to be willing to compete.
And the $30,000 purse certainly does not hurt at all. It's what these guys are fighting for.
That's right. Winner tonight, by the way, is going to take home $5,000. All of the competitors tonight are going to take home some money, but $5,000 goes to the winner.
All right, everybody come back from the fridge. Snack time is over. This is it. Do not look away from your TV screens. With the men's final. It's going to be over before you even know it.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for, people. Sean McCall on the left, Daniel Woods on the right. They're getting poised for the gun, so to speak, and this is going to be over in less than 45 seconds, for sure.
All right, climbers ready.
Canada versus the U.S. Sean McCall versus Daniel Woods, and they're off.
These guys are not going to have much time to think about their feet. They are thinking about their next handhold. They're moving their body, jumping as much as they can, as fast as they can. Here they go. They're already almost halfway up the wall.
Sean McCall way out in front. Daniel's going to have to put it on here if he's going to catch up.
Unbelievable. These guys are doing really hard moves, not making a single mistake.
Sean McCall well out in front right now. See if Daniel Woods can match him move for move here. It's about a move behind. There they go, tied up.
You know Daniel wants it. He was second place finisher last year, but Sean McCall is ahead, and it looks like Sean's going to take it.
And Sean McCall is going to win the 2014 Clif Bar Psicobloc Masters, and he is psyched.
God, another heartbreaker, kind of, for Daniel Woods. Second place again, just like Delaney Miller for the women was second place again.
Unbelievable performance all weekend by Sean McCall. He came out yesterday, looked like the favorite, and climbed like it tonight. Put on an incredible show for the people here.
And Brian, there just was not anything unexpected that happened here tonight with the men.
As those guys catch their breath, let's take a quick look back at how this final round unfolded between Sean McCall and Daniel Woods. They were neck and neck on that Walltopia head wall, 55 feet up.
Unbelievable finals competition between Sean McCall and Daniel Woods. Sean McCall eking out the final body length just ahead of Daniel Woods. Really, really fun to watch, but less than 45 seconds. There wasn't a whole lot of time to watch these guys. Unbelievable. They're both getting ready now to jump off the top of the wall together. They're going to jump off to the countdown of the crowd, and there they go.
Oh. And that's going to be our last splashdowns of the night.
Looks like Sean McCall is going to be walking away tonight with $5,000. And Daniel Woods is going to be walking away with $2,500. But you know what? It's not the money they were competing for tonight, was it?
It's always for the glory, Chris. These guys are brave and humble. Just in it for the fans out here at Park City. Everybody watching at home, take another look at this final run up the wall.
Unbelievable. You'll never see climbers climbing this fast, this hard again until next year's SecoComp. Look at these guys literally jumping up the wall, barely even looking down to see their feet. All they care about is the next handhold. It was really tough to call any of this until the final moves when Sean McCall just barely eked out Daniel Woods for the win.
See that coordination and power that Sean McCall has. Really didn't bobble a single move all weekend.
Unbelievable. Yep, and Sean is so psyched on top of the wall, pumping his fist in the air, flexing his abs. Maybe he's not even flexing. He's just lean and strong as hell.
I think that's just him standing up. Just kind of like you and I, Chris. We're going to get some awards here in just a second as we wrap up. Got some beautiful trophies for these competitors. Got a chance to look at them before. Tried to run off with the women's trophy, but I'm not that fast. Nice look at our commentator booth here on the side of the pool.
That's right. Here we are looking at the crowd, enjoying a fun evening. What a great time here.
Great angles all weekend from the LT11 crew. All right, Chris, that was an incredible final round for the men and the women. Let's go to JT for our awards.
All right. Let's do the awards. Let's get this going. All right. Delaney, Claire, come on up to the stage. How sick are these awards? All right, Delaney, congratulations. Claire, congratulations. First and second place, 2014 Clif Bar Psicobloc Masters. What, did I get them wrong? Raise them up. All right, not only does Delaney get the trophy for second place, she gets $2,500. Claire, double it. You got $5,000 coming your way. For sure, your biggest paycheck. I know it. There you go. Okay, next up, we're going to do the men's awards. Sean McCall, Daniel Woods. I guess I'll go find them. You must be present to accept your award and $5,000, Sean. We're not going to mail it to Canada. Daniel, Let's do this. You're good like that. We got some selfie action for Instagram going on over here. It's delaying Sean and Daniel. Ladies and gentlemen, second place in the 2014 Clif Bar Psicobloc Masters, Daniel Woods. Careful with this. Don't pick it there. Hold there, yeah. And first place with a hell of a run, Sean McCall. Please give it up. They not only got the trophies, but they got the cash. Congratulations to you both. Real quick, Sean, congratulations on the win. What do you think about this event?
I mean, the event's amazing. It's such a unique style of climbing. You're doing bouldering moves, you're doing dynos, you're 30 feet off the deck with no rope over water. It's so different than World Cups, and I'm used to having like everything under control. I've seen the moves, I'm doing a flash route, or everyone's in isolation, and here it's like you're watching people fall, you're getting more nervous. They're like, oh, you're up in 2 minutes, but I just climbed 2 minutes ago. They're like, you're up, and I'm like, okay, we're just going, but I mean, I love it. The crowd is great. I mean, we're at OR, and I'm with all my friends, so what more can you ask for?
Are we going to see you back here next year?
If they would like me back next year.
You guys want Sean to come back next year and defend his title or what? Daniel, congratulations. Sean, congratulations. Thank you, everyone that's attended tonight. We really appreciate it. We got a couple more things we got to do. We're going to get all the ladies up on stage really quick. Thank you to you both. We're going to get all the women competitors, wrap up the Insta selfies, get you up on the stage. We're going to get a big group photo. Everybody else, go get a beer, bring me a beer, let's have a party.
All right, we're going to let JT rest his voice now. Great job by him this weekend, keeping the crowd informed and psyched as always here in Park City. Chris Widener, final moments here at the 2014 Clif Bar Psicobloc Masters. Going to talk to Sean McCall in just a second, but what do you make of what we saw tonight?
Brian, I'm honestly blown away. I really didn't expect the men to be able to climb so fast. All of them climbed as if they were on a racetrack. The difficulty of the wall just didn't measure up to their talents, and it came down to a speed competition, Brian. I was not expecting that, yet they all kind of stepped up to the challenge and took it down. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, we're getting a great look at our female field from earlier tonight. Really nice mix of veteran competitors and up-and-comers, topped by, of course, our champion Claire Burfine at just 16 years old.
That's a boatload of talent up there, Brian. A lot of young talent, too.
Really exciting dynamic amongst the women climbers.
Yeah, and the females, Brian, it was really interesting to see it. They all took a slower, more methodical approach. The route wasn't super hard for them, yet they didn't step up the speed like the men did. What do you think about that?
I think they just kind of fed off each other. It was just a matter of who could push each other to go faster, and the men, they were just pushing a little bit harder than the women were. I think the route demanded that they go faster. The moves were longer. They couldn't hang out as long. The women's route was a little more methodical and just lent itself to that style, I think.
Very interesting differences here between the female competitors and the male competitors on their routes. There wasn't a whole lot of difference in terms of number of holds changed, but the route setters, Danny Andrada being the main route setter, he certainly tweaked a few things on each route.
Yeah, we should get some love to our route setters.
Absolutely, yeah, to make sure that the routes were just perfectly set for the women and the men. Danny Andrada, flown here from Spain. Very, very good job, and it's difficult to set a route that's perfect for a competition, and he sure did the best he could, which was perfect for tonight, men and women.
Yeah, Danny did a great job along with Stephen Jeffries, Salt Lake legend, and Miguel Riera, also over from Spain, Psicobloc legend from over there. Put up great route for the men and the women, brought the best out of these competitors. As we see the men making their way onto the stage. You know, Instagram is going nuts right now, clogging the feed.
That's right.
Do not check Instagram if you do not want to see about this comp right now.
Good point. I had a chance to meet Miguel in Spain in 2009 when I did some deep water soloing in Mallorca. It was such a fun time. And Brian, as we found out today earlier when we got on the wall, it sure was scary being up there. And it's just something that these competitors had to get past. They couldn't think about anything but the next move because the competition was so tough tonight.
Yeah, like we saw, even our quarterfinal and semifinal rounds could have been the finals given the caliber of the climbers competing. And some of the battles we saw, some of the men's rounds in the quarterfinals with Sean McCall and Jimmy Webb, it's unbelievable. And that's still reeling from that, really.
That's right, audience. You can pretty much replay any of the competitors in this finals round tonight, male or female, and see the fight of your life. It was just such a great competition. All of them performed super well.
Men getting their picture taken right now. Handsome looking group of guys right there. Different dynamic than the women. Fewer younger climbers. More of the established old guard. Sean McCall's been competing forever. Danny Wood's been competing forever.
Some of them are handsome, Brian. I wouldn't say all of them, but I'm not going to name names.
We're not here to judge, Chris.
We're just here to commentate. That's right. And we sure have had a good time commentating tonight. What a great, fun opportunity. I sure am thankful to be part of the LT11 crew tonight.
Yeah, it's been a great weekend working with everybody here, all the Psicobloc partners, event organizers, everybody working hard to keep this event safe this weekend. A lot of great support staff. Let's go to hear what Chris Sharma has to say.
This is all of us realizing together. I mean, we had such a great group of competitors, on both male and female, all the organizers, all the sponsors. This has been my dream for like the last 10 years, and the dream of Kevin from Momentum, my buddy Finuco, Waltopia, Clif Bar, Sanook, Evolve, Prana, everybody made this happen. Olympic Park. You helped us realize this dream to take climbing to the next level, and yeah, it's pretty special to be here. So.
Right on. Dude. Yeah, man.
Thanks, Chris. That's it
All right.
for tonight.
Thanks to Chris Sharma for that. Truly a living legend of our sport. It's great to see his vision come to fruition. I know everyone here has enjoyed this weekend. Hope everyone at home has enjoyed the broadcast. Do our best to bring you guys the kind of show that we'd want to see if we were at home watching right now. And wow, really great show. We're going to wrap things up in just a minute here. We're going to try and talk to Sean McCall before he gets out of here. We can wrangle him back from the athlete area over there.
It looks like everybody's having fun over in the athlete area. It might be tough to get Sean over here. I sure would be celebrating over there if I just won Psicobloc. Either way, we're having a great time up here.
All right, Brian Reynolds and Chris Widener back here in our broadcast booth. Efforting Sean McCall. Still trying to process what we saw tonight, Chris.
It was really an unbelievable competition. Really hard to overstate how great and fast these climbers were. The difficulty of the wall, again, was just not that big of a deal, especially to the male climbers who really took it to the next level with their speed climbing tonight.
Yeah, that's what happens when you get some of the top professional climbers in the world and some of the soon-to-be top professional climbers like Claire Burfine, Grace McKeon, Delaney Miller out here. It's just really great to see the skill and coordination and strength, everything coming together for them. It takes a total package on this wall. You can't make any mistakes, or you're going to eat it basically in this pool.
That's
no better way to say
right. Definitely eat it. And, all I can say is what I expect for next year is I bet the routes are going to have to be a little more difficult. They're going to have to step it up because it was just not that hard for these competitors tonight.
Well, yeah, as these competitors get experience year after year, they're going to be comfortable with the format. And, yeah, the level is just going to keep rising. Last year was kind of like a field trial, everyone's first time doing it. This year, a bunch of competitors returned. It was their second year. Sean, it was his first year, but we saw he has the skill, obviously, to win. Claire, another first-year competitor. But next year, everybody's going to have another year under their belt and be more comfortable with this Psicobloc format.
That's right, and being comfortable with the Psicobloc format is very, very important because it is not a normal type of climbing. Can't state it enough. No matter how much these competitors have climbed outside, and no matter how many competitions they've won or been in, these guys, you just can't prepare yourself for what it feels like to be on the wall 50 feet above water, no rope.
Yeah, it turns out water's pretty hard from anywhere but like 5 feet up. Not a soft landing at all.
Turns out.
Yeah, turns out. Hashtag. Sean is making his way here, it sounds like.
Yeah, that was just unbelievable how comfortable a lot of these competitors were on this wall, having either never climbed on the wall before, like Claire Burfind, our female champion, and some of the others who have only been on the wall, say, a day or two ago for their very first time.
Yeah, we basically had two first-time competitors win the event, which was certainly surprising to see. But we had veteran competitors like Daniel Woods right behind Delaney Miller, both taking second for the second straight year. Next year they're going to be gunning for that top spot on the podium and that big paycheck.
I bet you Delaney, like she has looked forward to this comp all year, she's going to be looking forward to 2015 Seco comp for sure. She's not going to take prisoners. She's going to go for number one. And I bet you what it's going to take for her is to just speed it up a little bit.
Yep. Party is well underway behind us here, the Utah Olympic Park in Park City, Utah. It's been a great host all weekend. Great staff here, really accommodating and letting this event happen. This pool is not built to have a 55-foot wall put over it and have climbers hurdle themselves into the water. And they've just been really accommodating and made this event happen.
That's absolutely right. And we're going to prove tonight here in a few minutes how even in Utah we can party hard. The crowd is already going with it. There's already some music. There's going to be live music soon. The beer and wine are flowing. And, we're just hoping to get Sean McCall in here before things get too crazy. So, yeah, Sean is just making his way over here. He's probably partying with his friends right now. He's probably still drying off from his win. But we're having a good time up here. We're just looking at the crowd. They're all cruising around, having a great time.
Looks like the band's getting ready to play.
I don't know about this band, Brian. We heard them practicing earlier, and we know there's going to be a little grunge going on. They got some Pearl Jam. And it looks like here's Sean McCall, Red Bull in his mouth, about to make it up to our booth.
All right, Sean, thanks for taking just a couple seconds out, stopping by. Wow. What do you make of that?
It's so different. It's exhausting. You're doing the same route over and over, so you're getting better and better. But at the same time, you're kind of thinking like, am I going to have to go really fast this time? You're looking at your competitor. You're thinking like, has he done the route before? How fast
how
did
did
he
you
go?
gauge that when you were watching the other person climb? Like, how fast did you think you had to climb?
Well, funny enough, after my first round, I knew that everyone else had completed the routes, so I knew I'd have to be going really fast.
Mm-hmm.
So for my second, third, and fourth run, I knew I was going to have to just go as fast as I could, which is a really weird feeling. But I got a little bit better at the route, and Jimmy set the bar really high. He was ahead of me at one point. I had to really catch up, and I actually could feel myself accelerating in the last 10 moves. And I think that's what really pulled it through for me.
That's really awesome. You know, last night I was talking to your former coach, Mike Doyle. He's very, very proud of you. And when I asked him about how you should do in tonight's competition, in his smug way, he said, Yeah, Sean should win because you've been training speed, you've been training difficulty. Did you feel like coming into this that you should win it?
Funny enough, I did, and even all my competitors, they're all my friends, they're all like, Sean, like this is your domain, you should win. And I'm like, yeah, in my head I'm like, okay, yeah, on paper maybe I should win, but there's always a chance that I mess up. There's a dyno, there's a few moves at the bottom where you have almost all points off at one point, so even as a competitor, I still make some mistakes. I'm obviously trying to make the least amount of mistakes. And at the end of the day, my first one was actually pretty slow even. But I kept, just barely beating the competitors, advancing. And I think having lots of endurance really saved me. So that when I had to do it 4 times in about an hour.
Yeah, the men's route went fast.
I still had a bit of juice left, and now I could maybe even do it again. So.
So are you going to jump back up on the wall right now, Sean?
I don't want to jump off the top again.
Yeah, how is it up there when you're standing on top of that wall?
The first time, you're like, okay, I can cliff jump 50 feet. And then even on my first jump off the top, I was a little bit backwards, so I hit my butt a bit. And then I was like, on my third try, I aced it. And then up on my fourth try, I was a little bit forward, so I kind of hit my chin a bit. But it's okay. Like, it's a 50-foot cliff jump, and everyone wants to see you jump into the water, so you can't really turn around.
That's right, and you are going to be walking away with $5,000, an amazing trophy, and an official invitation from the crowd to come back next year. So thank you so much, Sean.
Yeah, congrats, Sean. Thanks for coming to the event, and congrats on the win.
All right, thanks you guys, thanks to the crowd, thanks to Chris for hosting it, and all the competitors for making it happen.
Yeah, best of luck on the rest of the Lead World Cup circuit.
Thank you.
It was a great pleasure to watch you climb. Thank you.
Thanks, Sean.
It was an awesome time being here.
Thanks, Sean. All right, Chris, it's going to wrap it up. Going to say goodbye to Sean McCall.
All right, bye, Sean.
And we're going to say goodbye to the viewers at home here.
That's right, viewers. Thank you so much for being a part of this 2014 Clif Bar Psicobloc Masters. We had an awesome time commentating tonight. Really fun time. And this is Chris Widener signing off. Thank you again.
Yep, and thanks to all the Psicobloc partners, Kevin Bradburn, Mike Beck, Mike Call, and Chris Sharma for organizing this event, making it happen. All the great sponsors, everybody at the Utah Olympic Park, the whole LT11 crew. You guys are awesome. And this is Brian Reynolds for Chris Widener saying we'll see you guys next time. Good night.
Good night.
While live streaming an event is a service that Louder Than 11 provides, we're in the business of storytelling. We want to find what's at the heart of what's going on. We want to give our audience a reason to care about the people that we're telling the story about. For us, it's not just about putting on a great product, but it's also about doing right by climbing. And we want to do our part to take it to the next level.